Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna do that today. Anyway, kind of messed that up. But glad to see you guys. Yes, hope everybody's doing well in this great, great world. Let's go ahead and welcome you guys. You're right, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, it's gonna be a good show. We have three things that are gonna outline you know, the headlines for tonight. Got a good, solid coverage for BSV. Got you know, also some coverage in regards to JASMY and Quant together. Yes, together. How am I doing that again? Um, those are going to be the three main things, I guess you could say, if you want to call it three, more like two, right? But the BSV one is going to take the cake. If you guys have been paying attention to your CMCs, your CoinGeckos, whatever you're using, you've probably seen the whole thing about BSV, right? Top performer, even in light of, a Ripple win yesterday. We'll share some Lewis Jackson with you guys. He has his take about the whole thing with Ripple. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But yeah, congratulations, guys. You made it to the end of the week. It is Friday, October 20th. And sit back, relax, and chill with the community. Smash the like, and let's get into it. Let's go ahead and welcome a few of you guys. Let's start off by putting on some of that branding. Oh, yeah. And then on top of that, we're going to welcome some of you guys. And I want to give a highlight to this guy first, actually, Mr. Cool Cat Crypto. This is the guy who originally introduced BSV to us. Now, I'll state this. I don't know as much about BSV as Cool Cat Crypto, but I'm doing my best to provide a good, solid outline for you guys, tying a lot of things from the past, the present, and even the future, okay? You're going to learn something tonight. I'll say that much. And pretty cool stuff. All right. So we're going to start off with the first comment. I also want to welcome people, obviously, from Will Fix's side of things. Thank you for being here. Let's welcome Abdul Jawad. He's watching over there. And also Rika Tiffany. Abdul Jawad says, let's go JASMY XRP family. Thank you for commenting over there. And Ricky Tiffy says, happy Friday. All right. We have, currently speaking, 36 people so far within 3.5 minutes. That's not too shabby. Let's check out a super chat that came along the way, and then we'll welcome you guys as normal, right? Glad to have you guys here. So let's see here. I also saw Sobo came. She says, hey, all. She's now known as Snowy Alpine. And I finally understood the whole thing of your avatar. She's displaying her dream right there. We all have exit plans. For me, it's a lake house, right? With no neighbors for, maybe a couple miles. I'm just being honest. Or something like that, right? That's Sobo's dream right there. Shout out to you, Sobo. Never lose your dream. All right, let's see here. Let's start off with the super chats real quick, and then we'll get into the top of the list. And we have Henry Brown, who isn't out of town on Greyhound. He's here tonight with us. He says, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Urkel is on. Yes, that used to be the thing, right? Family Matters. I love watching Urkel back in the day. And then remember how you became Stefan, Stefan Erkel. That was a great show, man. Mr. Winslow. Anyway, Henry Brown, thank you for that $2 super chat. Nice way to get things going. And I'm always reminded by Din G that I always say, and on top of that, I guess I say that a lot, don't I? Henry Brown with another $2 super chat. He says, JASMY versus Solana and Nas versus Mos Def. Who wins and why? Wow. I mean, I can understand the whole thing of Nas and Mos Def, but JASMY versus Solana, that'd be like me saying, yeah, man, QNT versus, Shiba Inu. It's like, what? But not really. Anyway, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. And of course, Nas wins the whole thing with Mos Def, although I do like Mos Def. All right. We have another super chat that came in. Thank you, guys. You guys rock, man. We got who am I? PD Pure Mother. I don't know if you guys remember that P. Pablo back in the day, right? You know, he did a remix also. USA. Remember the whole thing at the 9/11? That was horrible, but at least he did it. Shout out to you, Pure, PD Pure. Like the avatar. Very cool. Japanimation. Says Big Broski. Look at Vegas Eno High Roller VIT. It gives 2% reflection on every transaction. Dev December DeMarco. I know who he is. You know, he does a lot of Volt. Support by Space Chick and the Volt Army. All right. Don't normally cover meme tokens here, but I respect to you. We could put you on blast for just a little bit. And also, come on, man. We love Space Chick, right? We do love the Volt Army. I'm not no longer part of Volt, but I love the community. And we're about community here. We'll go ahead and give you a quick plug real quick. Let's see here. Vegas Eno. I did see that she did like a little video about that in regards to Vegas Enu. Able to pull that up right at the moment. Well, you could give us the ticker symbol on it. What is the ticker symbol? My bad. Vegas Enu. Oh, you know what? I know she did a video on it. I could give her a plug real quick. Let's give Space Chick a plug. She might be working tonight. I know she's a nurse. So, pull up Space Chick. Crypto. All right, let's see here. Here is Spacey. Let's pull her up real quick. And was it on the live or was it a video? Let me see real quick. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's give her a little full screen real quick to kind of highlight this for a second. So, guys, I obviously am not covering this, but it might be solid. I like Space Chick. If you meme tokens is your thing, I know a lot of you guys are still in meme tokens. Hey, do you, right? It's all right. Let's go ahead and have me come out of the frame. And Space Chick has this Vegas Enu announcement. It was 10 days ago. And then on top of that, she did another one featuring December DeMarco, right? 12 days ago about Vegas Enu. If you want to learn more about that. Then I think she even did a live, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I guess I am mistaken about that one. So, bottom line is she has a couple videos where she covers this. The announcements, right? Vegas Eno token. You can't miss this, she says. Then, of course, there's the whole thing of December DeMarco in the background. And then the launch of it. So, I mean, you guys got to keep in mind that it's very new. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you want to take more of a look into that, and you know, maybe you do catch a new good meme token. All right, you do you. All right. Once again, thank you so much to PD Pure. I do appreciate it. That was nice of you, and I always wish success for all communities. I would never flood anything unless it was worth flooding, and even then, I probably still wouldn't do that because I don't like, you know, being that type of guy. So give them a warm welcome, everybody. PD Pure. All right, let's see here. We're going to go further down and welcome a few more of you guys. I got to catch up, but we got another one. Henry Brown, $2 super chat. Texas Crypto, sipping on lean, blasting DJ Screw. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry Brown. All these hip-hop references, and that's okay. I got to read this. I saw this. Mr. Corey Bibe, a.k.a. Just Me Not a Scam. I want that Lakers is well, Max. I'm ready, my friend. Let's go. Yes, thank you for being here, Mr. Corey Bibe. All right, now we're going to start off with the first comment of the day. It is from Brittany. She says, happy Friday. We're going to kind of get into this because we're about at the 10-minute mark here in a second. Tim Shea, who says, hey, who sprays from far away. Everybody hit the DECK. Mara Crypto Commissioner. Thank you for being here. Represent the 589th. But thank you again, Ms. Brittany. Always good to see you. Abdul Jawad, thank you. I think we welcomed you earlier. Jack Thompson, shalom, and crypto wealth and perfect health to everyone on the channel. See, Jack, you're rapping. You're getting together with, you know, Mr. Henry Brown. You don't even realize that you're rapping, man. Look at that. Crypto health and perfect. I got that backwards. Crypto wealth and perfect health. Anyway, we got also the one and only Mr. Boomer Sooner. Good to see you, Mr. Boomer. Break all the windows in your house saying, Boomer Sooner. Jack Thompson says he can't stay on tonight. Boo. I'm kidding. Prep and Dark 30 Drive. Okay. To Yuma. Oh boy, I haven't been to Yuma in a long time. Hopefully everybody here has seen the, both the original 310 to Yuma and the new one. I will state this, all right? I am a big fan of Glenn Ford. He's one of my favorite classic actors of all time. But I think the new 310 to Yuma was better than the original. Maybe I'm in the minority on that. Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, but I'm just throwing that out there, okay? What's up with the Golden Shot BSV? That is the main outline of tonight, and I hope that you guys appreciate it. And how about this? Even if you're like, BSV, fake Toshi, I don't want no part of it. Just, as the saying goes, think outside the box, be open-minded. That's all I can say, just be open-minded. What up, Mr. Selmo Fudd? He says, what up, Max in? Thank God it's Friday. TGIF. Urkel is on. You're Urkel, Max. You're just a bigger version. Maybe. I don't know. All right. Michael Montclair. Hey, XRP millionaires. Glad to have you here, Michael Montclair. We also have Cliff Roseboom. He says, shalom as well. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. What up, Jack Thompson? Let's also welcome Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Obviously, Cool Cat Crypto. He's probably going to be like the main star of the night in the audience. Let's just be honest about that. Lots of pressure on you, Cool Cat. Pressure on me. Pressure on you, Max. I'm the one that's been talking about this for a good couple years, right? BSV. True. That's true. All right, let's see here. Roland Rodriguez. I'd like to give a shout out to all the high rollers rocking Vegas Inu. 777, stay bullish. All right, well, awesome. Welcome. Glad to have you guys here. Shout out to the Vegas Inu people. All right, let's see here. We also have Venture Empathetic. I'm not pronouncing that right, but welcome, Venture. All right, good evening. All right, let's see. Essence, Vegas Inu, another Vegas Inu guy here. Well, welcome. He says, on the radar, believe it will have an impact in Web3. Well, that's cool. That is super cool. All right, just trying to go through more of this list. Welcome a few more of you guys, and then we'll kick it in. I know, maybe we got 2 more minutes. We're going to really kick it into the outline. Air Jordan, kind of like that. I have a couple Air Jordan shirts. Welcome. And obviously, I want to welcome you again, Sobo. Always good to see you, Sobo. I really mean that. All right. Magic Power in the house. Hello, guten Tag. The Liechtenstein Exchange. And JASMY with the Rice Cup Consortium. Let's go. Thank you for being here. And Dreamer, as well as Crypto Info. DYOR. Give him a follow on his channel. He needs the support, and he's plugging away. He's grinding away. Give him a follow on YouTube, just like you see, Crypto Info _ DYOR. All right. Looking at the time, you need to kick it into the outline. So I want to share a couple things first with you guys before we get too into this. So number one, we had gotten word, let's face it, guys, I mean, yesterday about this whole thing with Ripple and the SEC. So, been there, done that, basically covered it yesterday. But I want to present to you this. And basically speaking, you do now see the overall crypto market cap is now at 1.12 trillion. We're no longer in fear. And now on the fear and greed index is starting to tip the other way. Now, if it tips the other way, we get to greed. And that's crazy if you think about it. So we're at a 53 on that. Well, a few days ago, we were in fear. We're not in extreme fear, but we were in fear. We also seen a few days ago, we were as low as 1.04 trillion. So say what you want, whether you hold Ripple's XRP or not, that was a good thing. All right, what happened? But in light of everything, and don't get me wrong, right? Even looking at this thing, you see Ripple trending, but it's a little bit of a pullback on the 24-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, just slightly up. But we did go from about 47 cents back up to about roughly 51, 52. Of course, there's some people going to take profits, right? So that's what's happened with XRP. But for the purposes of tonight's show, again, everybody give a dab to Cool Cat Crypto. For real. If you like him, you don't. You like him, you don't like him, give him a dab anyway. Because he has passionately talked about BSV, it's kind of like some people, oh, he's just beating the, to the beat of his own drum. No, but want to know something? I always appreciate anybody who's passionate about anything they believe in consistently, especially when it's something that is a blue chip, right? So I want to show you guys this. And when you hit the 24-hour chart, look what it says. BSV, 28% up. On the 7-day chart, 56, almost 57% up. And I just refreshed it again, and it's still the number one of the top 100 that's up the most for the week. So what is this, Max? Why get into this? Well, for one, I'm going to show you why. And in the process of doing so, I thought I would access one of our brandings. So I even made a custom one for you, Mr. Cool Cat. And boom, there it is. Now, some people say, you want to know something, Max? That's just Bitcoin. Nope. What is one thing we learned from Cool Cat a long time ago? That the one that sits straight up and down is the beloved BSV. So that one's for you. All right. So on this outline, you're going to see some things. Let's start off with this. So back on November 15th of 2018, straight from the Bitcoin SV site, and you can view for yourself, just go to bitcoinsv.com. There's this reference, and it bugs me. I'm going to be honest, it really bugs me. It may bug you if you're taking more of a look into it. It says that BSV remains as Bitcoin. I was always thinking to myself, where is this reference? Craig Wright always calls BSV Bitcoin. What's his name? Dr. Ladid, if I'm pronouncing that right. Professor, also part of, the whole thing with the Bitcoin Association. But they don't call it BSV. They call it Bitcoin. How about some of the talk about BlackRock, talking about Bitcoin, but they make it sound like it's this amazing technology. And I'm thinking, they can't be referring to BTC. There's no way. That's just old tech. But as it says right here, on November 15, 2018, BSV remains as Bitcoin. BCH forks away. BSV, as in Bitcoin SV, becomes the new ticker symbol for the original. That's worth looking more into. Bitcoin protocol. When BCH decided to divert from Bitcoin's white paper, introduced non-Bitcoin compliant features, which included introducing anonymity. I can never pronounce that right. Even if I try 1,000 times and listen to the thing on how to pronounce it, I don't know why. That hinders government and financial regulation. Yes, I know what that means, but I just have a hard time pronouncing it. This is why it's considered Bitcoin's Independence Day. Okay. So is that a nothing burger? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So I decided to get more into this. I showed you the whole thing of, obviously what's going on with what you see right here. But the point is, for the newcomers, you may be saying, what the heck is this BSV? And you know how many people might be even FOMOing into BSV today or yesterday? So for one, let's get to the nitty gritty of a few things if you're wondering about this and so on. So you have a case where you got market cap is now at a little over $1 billion. It went up 28%. Volume is up to over 200%. Again, some of that FOMO, right? You have basically 91% of the circulating supply is out there of the 21 million. So the total supply is 19,266,077. Max supply 21 million. And it's like this thing has basically, I guess, the same tokenomics as original BTC. So that's worth pointing out. But what exactly is it? Well, let's jump into this part right here. BSV emerged following a hard fork of the Bitcoin Cash blockchain in 2018. We did check in with Cool Cat Crypto. I mean, I remember saying it was something else, and he corrected me on that. And he was like, no, man. So that is right. It's verified right here. Of course, which forked from BTC blockchain, the year earlier. The goal of BSV is to fulfill the original vision of the Bitcoin protocol and design as described in Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. Okay, that doesn't sound bad. Early Bitcoin client software and known Satoshi writings. BSV aims to offer scalability and stability in the line with the original description of Bitcoin as peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Right. BTC doesn't really do that. I mean, how many times have we shared with you guys those charts, right? It mentions like, those side-by-side comparisons. Like, I know this is not an XDC segment, but we would show that example. And maybe I could pull it up for a second. Actually, I think I will. XDC, Ethereum, BTC comparison. I think I could pull this up. But basically, it shows on here. Yeah, I got it right here. I'm sorry. Let's jump to that for a second. It shows plain as day when you get into it about this comparison. And a lot of people have references. We're not the only ones to references. Here it is. 3 to 6 TPS for BTC. Does that sound like that's scalability to you? Average fee $15. Transaction confirmation 10 to 60 minutes. So nothing about BTC mentions, or even on the surface, shows scalability at all, right? But when you look into BSV, it's like we've seen 100,000 TPS. Let me just pull this up for you guys real quick. And also even as high as, I believe over 1 million, right? Just crazy, crazy stuff. So let me pull this up for you guys. I had that screen up. I apologize. Yeah, here we go. So the bottom line is scalability, right? You just don't necessarily get that with, for instance, BTC. All right, I'm just copying this picture. I'm going to blow it up for you guys. There we go. Should be on the screen now. All right, yeah, there we go. So here's another example. Comparison of popular blockchains. I mean, look at this for just a second, all right? Maybe you're not even a person. You just like XRP all the way. I don't even want to hear this. I'm just being honest. You might want to hear this. BSV, you got proof of work. Some people are still, convinced about the proof of work. Some of you guys who are in the CASPA, what do you know about one of the other guys from a long time ago who came over to CASPA? He was a former, I guess, a person from BTC or also BSV, right? So there's that, the whole need to be able to still mine, and we'll get into that outline here in a bit, a little bit later. But BSV, proof of work, permission type, is also public, just like Bitcoin Core, BTC, and like I guess Ethereum originally. Obviously, they don't want to proof of stake, but you have some good metrics here. You have regulatory compliant, checked. Data privacy, check. Right? We always talk about JASMY and data privacy, so that's check. Tokens, smart contracts, check. But what about the whole thing Max is talking about? 100,000 TPS, check. I don't have the reference to 1 million, but we've shared that in the past about how it can go to over 1 million. So that's like, wow, man. I mean, even at 100,000, wow. That just blows away the competition. Even with Ripple, guys, let's just be honest. Even with Hedera, even though Hedera is I think Algo and Hedera is the greenest of the green. Hedera is at like, 28,000 or 30,000 TPS, roughly in that area. Very impressive. This blows it out of the water just at 100,000 TPS. And that whole talk about 1 million. When I think of 1 million TPS, I think of like the outline we gave in regards to M10 and then that quant connection and all that crazy stuff. How about, the kilowatts per transactions? Only 4 compared to, BTC, which is 2,253. So my thing is everything outlined here. If BlackRock is getting involved with Bitcoin, are they talking in code? I want you guys to think about that. Are they talking in code? Because when you hear Craig Wright refer to, Bitcoin as, BSV as Bitcoin, he never calls it BSV. He just calls it Bitcoin. Dr. Ladid, for instance, right? I might pronounce that wrong. Bitcoin. All these proponents, even the people from IBM, that's something we're going to get into here in a bit towards the end of the outline. They don't call it BSV, maybe a couple of them, but consistently call it Bitcoin. And I'm thinking to myself, this really bugs me because it's like there's going to be a moment, hear me out, that next year comes and it's like there's a ruling, and we're going to get into the whole thing of this trial, right? And it's like, what if Craig Wright, they rule that he is the real Satoshi? There's this whole thing of royalties that are owed because of all the code. We'll get more into that. But You want to talk about that fear of missing out. This would be a case of everybody missed out except for the cool cat cryptos or me with just a little bit of this. I don't have a lot. I have a little bit, you know what I mean? Because I took a chance on it. But a lot of people will miss out. And then FOMO comes in. More FOMO because people are like, well, it's just going to keep going up. And then it ends up becoming what? What you saw with BTC. And is that so bad to point that out? Have I not gotten your attention yet? All right, getting more into this, I want to go back to what we have. I want to have it make a little bit more sense. So let's jump back to the whole thing of what this is all about. So it states that, BSV aims to offer that scalability, the stability in line with the original description of the Bitcoin peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And we'll explain what that is all about. We even have a video. It's not too long. It talks about the whole thing, the concept of Bitcoin as a BSV and actual cash with a wallet, a new wallet. Like, this is brand new stuff. I took the time to get into this. BSV aims to deliver a distributed data network that can support enterprise level advanced blockchain applications. How many times we've been talking about enterprise level? Your ripples. We talk about quant. We talk about stellar. All that stuff. So there's that. To this end, it has removed artificial block size limits. Right. This is how you get the scalability with BSV, not BTC. And re-enable script commands and other technical capabilities, which has been historically disabled or restricted by the protocol developers of BTC on that particular blockchain. This allows the network to process what? Tens of thousands of transactions per second. Well, how about this? Like we just showed you, how about hundreds of thousands? How about millions? Right? Does it have other functions such as producing a tokens? Right. We showed you that check mark. Does it have smart contracts? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I get where Max is going because he covers, for instance, things like Stellar, covers Sorbonne. I can see why he's enthused. Yeah. Computation, other data use cases. BSV network is unique in its capacity for unbounded on-chain scaling, while also be more aligned with the original design of Bitcoin more than any other blockchain. So when we talk about they say that Bitcoin's freedom. What about one that's freedom plus scalability? If I've learned anything, and you guys have as well, I'm sure you have, you're not a dumb audience. You're trying to learn. We got to go with the innovators. And what have we consistently noticed why we're so excited about Ripple's XRP and Stellars and all this stuff? Your quants. Because we believe in innovation, the path forward for bigger things, right? Not hopping back onto the dinosaur technology. I don't think BlackRock is talking about that dinosaur technology. I mean, maybe temporarily BTC does well, and don't get me wrong, I think it will. But if I'm going to have one that's going to outperform, I want to pay attention to this one. Now, hear me out on this. We are currently invested in altcoins, are we not? So I'm looking at BSV and I'm thinking to myself, what if I and a lot of other people in the past have been wrong about this? Now, hear me out. I came into a bag of this at 25, and I'm still up in the profit zone. It says like I'm up like 77%. Is that such a bad thing? No, it's not such a bad thing. So if we believe in alts like we do, is this also your shot at the real Bitcoin, right? But you get a little bit of that like, I see where Max is going with that with the alts. Check this out for a second. What makes BSV so unique, right? I mean, I would be asking that if I was one of you guys. BSV differs from other versions of Bitcoin in its adherence to the original Bitcoin protocol and focus on the realization and these teachings and yada, yada, right? But the efficiency of payments, distributed data applications, enterprise, and government users. How about this? Functions as an investment or store of value. So all the people are saying, nope, it's only BTC as a store of value. This is just innovation for the future payments. Boom. So I'm being honest. Is BlackRock talking in code? Is IBM talking in code? And we got some, things to talk about in regards to IBM. I want to share this with you. Talks about the scalability. How about the scale to meet market forces? Look at this for a second. Accommodate the demands of any application and payment network without restoring to second layer solutions. So that means that they won't have a case of like what Ethereum has where nothing against what we covered, right? I don't see like a BSV with Optimum. I don't see a BSV with Polkadot. doesn't need to do that because it already does it at its core. That's cool. I'm just saying that's pretty cool. In 2021, the BSV network mined the world's first gigabyte, 1,000 plus megabytes, level blocks reaching up to 2 gigabytes in August 2021. For comparison, if you didn't know about this, 2 gigabytes is 2,000 times the 1 megabyte block cap. True, right? Some of us are geeks and know that stuff. The block capacity of the BSV network is expected to continue growing further and support more transaction volume and data use cases. That sounds pretty cool too. But maybe just a lot of people didn't pay attention to this stuff. They've been testing node software. They've been having this whole thing with the infrastructure team, handle up to 100,000 TPS. But again, that's an old report on CMC. Another thing that makes this unique, just get more into it, BSV rivals and aims to supersede the payment processing capabilities of platforms. Like, for instance, what? Visa. Wow. What the heck? At a fraction of the cost to users. What? Yeah, right? I mean, crazy. BSV also offers scalable, product-ready platform for blockchain app developers, many of whom have migrated from other networks. Yeah, Ethereum. Again, guys, come on. Let's just look at Ethereum at this point as basically being your McDonald's of smart contracts. And, and then I know this is not stellar, but, Sorbonne. I look at Sorbonne being like, that has the potential being like your In-N-Out burger of smart contracts. I had to throw that in there, right? The quality. So a lot of you guys on the East Coast never had In-N-Out burger, but if you come out to the West, you might want to try it. It is good quality, and it's reasonably priced. All right, this last part. The functionality of BSV is attractive to enterprise and government users within the blockchain, offering an efficient and stable platform for companies and agencies looking to experiment or build on just that, their particular tech. Is that such a bad thing to also have the government involved in this? Now, you're more than welcome to read more about this, about how the network is secured, all that, right? We're not going to make this like 4 hours on BSV, but I'm going to jump into the next thing. And if anything, it might open your eyes a little bit. So my thing is, I want to give you guys some, I guess you could say, some notes. So here are some of my own notes. Some of you guys who may not know about BSV, you ask, who is, for instance, Craig Wright? Is he really Satoshi Nakamoto? Well, basically, the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto has never really been confirmed. There's people, of course, that are hardcore proponents. Even, let's face it, Cool Cat, he's going to say he is, and I respect that. But, this is one of the greatest mysteries, of course, of this new digital age that we're living in. Back in 2015, Craig Wright, who is an Australian computer scientist, hence why he's Dr. Craig Wright, claimed, of course, to be Nakamoto. Now, that was all the way back in 2015. Were you even in Bitcoin at that point? I'm just saying. But, it's been pointed out that his claims have been widely disputed by the cryptocurrency community. There's even a trial. Okay, I'm trying to catch you guys up about this. Wright has offered a variety of evidence to basically support his claim, including early drafts of the Bitcoin white paper and signatures from early Bitcoin wallets. So that's worth pointing out. But however, like it says that, from what I've gathered, he's been questioned in regards to the evidence, and some people feel as though it's been debunked. Some people feel as though it hasn't. An example is, some experts have argued that the early drafts of the white paper were likely written by someone else. I mean, I don't know that. I'm just saying what was pointed out. And there's no definitive proof that the signatures are basically from early Bitcoin wallets that belong to Wright. We don't know that yet, right? Maybe that's what the trial will also hopefully maybe point out. I don't know. We'll have to see. But the main thing is, some of these things are going to be coming up, like in 2024. Craig Wright himself has made a number of statements and claims that he has been contradicted in regards to this whole notion that he isn't Satoshi. Here's an example. He claimed to be a wealthy man. There's no public evidence to support this claim, in regards to the contradiction. But Craig Wright has also claimed to work on worked on Bitcoin, as in BSV, or BTC, I should say, with other people. But again, it's been pointed out, not enough evidence. All right, I'm not saying that it is or isn't to collaborate these basic claims. All right. Some people point out there's inconsistencies. Some of the people in the community, there's also people in the community, obviously, that believe that Craig Wright is in fact Satoshi Nakamoto. Some people don't. There's some people think that Craig Wright's a fraud. That's why some people state that, they think he's a fake Toshi. Bottom line is this: the evidence that offers support for Craig Wright, some people question that. And it's just an incomplete thing. It's not definitive enough to say that he is, and not definitive enough to say that he isn't. All right, I'm not going to talk your ear off about that. I want to jump into this for a second. Now, I want to give this guy a shout out. His name is Craig Wright, as in, it's just he's saying he's right, because the real Craig Wright is with a W. This guy called it October 13th, right? Literally a few days before, like a day before, I guess this kind of got sent. He says BSV and BTC will break out soon, but BSV will outperform BSV. Isn't that what you're maybe tuned into tonight? Check this out for a second for yourself. He called it. He really did. And literally, I think like a day before it all happened, about a week ago. All right. So if this very well outperforms Bitcoin, then why buy a full BTC? I'm just saying, we always pay attention to the alts. Getting more into this as well. I want to share this, his other key finding. So this guy shares this with us, and it shows this, and hopefully that's big enough for you guys. I don't know if it is. Yeah, it is. So he says BSV BTC breakout is imminent. BSV will return to the major accumulation range support resistance levels between $100 and $250. Is that so bad? Like for somebody myself, even though I don't have a lot of this, I'm like, I wish I kind of did. You know what I mean? And that also creates a little bit of FOMO. But here's the thing. Before COPA trial starts, and we'll get into the whole thing about the COPA trial. Maybe it's called COPA. I don't know. Starts in January 2024. BSV, BTC 0.003 to 0.004. But basically, look at BTC's 40,000 to 60,000. And I did point something out over on Will Fix's side of things. I said, somebody was like, this whole thing of Ripple going overnight, it's not going to happen. And I gave him this guy example. I said, well, all right, I hear where you're coming from. Maybe not overnight, but here's something to keep in mind. I did reference BTC. I said BTC, I think it was like September 12th of 2021, or maybe it was the 17th. I don't know. But it was like mid-September. Was at 42,000, right? And then in a month and a half, right? Because we know it went to, was it October 11th, right? Or November 11th, sorry. 11/11/2021. Yeah, that's a month and a half. In a month and a half time, BTC went from 42K to 69K. So that's $26,000 increase in a month and a half. Now that's not overnight, and I can understand where people say about that. But here's the thing: I know this is a BSV segment. The key takeaway is, if BTC with not much utility, and let's face it, almost kind of feels like a meme coin at this point, was able to do that with dinosaur technology, if you really think about it, in a month and a half, a $26,000 increase. What about 25,000 overnight with Ripple's XRP? All right, Max, come on, man. Get back to the whole thing of BSV. Right. But this statement, 100 to 250, BTC 40,000 to 60,000. So should I treat BSV as like how people should have, and almost a lot of them did, originally had BTC at, who knows, under $100, because it is under $100. It's like 45, close to 50. I'm just saying, I'm throwing that out there. Here's what he's talking about. There you go. Now, getting more into this whole thing of the COPA trial. Now, I want to talk about this for a second. Here's my notes. I want to share this with you. So basically speaking, the COPA trial. Do you know what the COPA trial is? And if not, this is where we all come into play. Because this COPPA trial could be the oh crap moment for, let's face it, over 90, maybe 99% of all crypto investors. And is that so bad to point out? So we know that the whole thing of Craig Wright, big mystery. And, who doesn't know that by now? But what about the COPPA trial? Craig Wright and the COPPA trial. So Craig Wright, COPA trial, if you wonder what COPA is the Cryptocurrency Open Patent Alliance. So he has a civil lawsuit filed by the COPPA, right? This alliance against him, as in Craig Wright. And basically speaking, the lawsuit was filed in the UK High Court, United Kingdom, back in 2021, and it's ongoing as of October 2023. And the only thing I could think of why Robinhood decided to hell with, listing BSVs, they didn't want no part of this. I mean, that kind of aligns in that timeline. I'm just being honest. Like when you see the SEC going after like Ripple, and you saw a lot of exchanges delisted, this also kind of reminds me to a sense of that type of thing. It's like, at the end of the day, they gotta. There's action and reaction. So COPPA, non-profit organization, was formed all the way back in 2020. That's not so long ago. Their, of course, objective is to promote open source development of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Back in 2019, Wright filed a copyright registration in the United States claiming the ownership of Bitcoin white paper and released the related source code. Okay, that's worth pointing out. COPPA argues, that basically Wright, as in Craig Wright, is not the author of the Bitcoin white paper. Now, hear me out. I know the comments, I'm sure Cool Cat's like, hey, man, I'm going to show you all this stuff. That's cool, too. Do it. But basically, yeah, they argue that he's not the author, especially of the Bitcoin white paper, and that the white paper is not copyrightable. And a lot of people have pointed that out. Like, this is why some people say he's fake Toshi, because, it's like, it's not copyrightable. So that proves that you're not him. Now, hear me out on this. I don't think it does. That's just my own 2 cents, right? What about this trial? So the trial is expected to focus on the following issues: whether Wright is the author of the Bitcoin white paper, number one. Number two, whether Bitcoin white paper is copyrightable. Okay. Number three, whether Wright's copyright claims are obviously valid. The outcome of the trial could have a significant implications of the overall crypto industry. Now, this is the juicy part you want to pay attention to. I don't care if you're talking about degen stuff or whatever the heck you're talking about, Caroline, pogo sticks, boil it, mash it, stick it in stew. It's Friday, football games, whatever, right? I understand it, right? Kick back, relax and stuff. But also at the same time, realize that you are a crypto investor and you do not want to miss out on the good stuff, the potential good stuff. We talk about FOMO, fear of missing out. This might be the king of FOMO. I'm being honest. Of like, a lot of people just didn't look more into this. I'm just being flat out honest, and I'll make an announcement later into the show on what I'm planning to do in regards to BSV. Just hear me out. Do what you got to do. The outcome of the trial could have significant implications, of course, on the overall crypto industry. Sorry, I got to catch up on my notes. If Wright is successful in proving, listen to this, that he is, in fact, the author of the original Bitcoin white paper, and that the white paper is copyrightable, he could potentially claim royalties, like I mentioned at the beginning of the outline, from anyone who uses Bitcoin or the Bitcoin code. You know how many people have done that? What do you think that's going to do for the price of BSV? I mean, come on, guys. Are we oblivious to that? This could have a chilling effect. I'm getting chills thinking about it right now on the innovation in the crypto industry. All right. What about COPPA? Great. I understand. If COPPA is successful in their findings to prove that, Craig Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto, it was established that the Bitcoin white paper is not only not copyrightable, but that anyone is free to use it without permission. Now, this is where people from the BTC maxis, your Michael Saylors and your what's his name, Da Vinci's and those guys and someone be like, yeah, pound my chest, BTC, right? Like King Kong and stuff, because they'll be like, freedom, freedom, freedom. If you think you get tired of seeing Michael Saylor now, oh my gosh, he'd probably be like a 24/7 news stream. You know what I mean? Like, he might have his own channel, you know, like not Fox News, but something like that. He just, you think it's bad now, he will never shut up at that point. And then what would that do for BTC? You better believe BTC would go to the moon. My key takeaway for you is, even if you're not on board with it and you do think it's fake Toshi, should you treat BSV like, you know what, I'm going to at least get a little bit? And is that so bad? How many projects have you got a little bit in anyway? How many garbage, you know, this is not me bashing on, you know, Vegas Inu or anything like that. It's not like that. I'm just saying, like, how many bad meme tokens there are out there that you threw like maybe a couple $100 at? It's not financial advice, but I'm just stating, is that risk to reward ratio worth it with this? Like it says, it would help ensure, and this is my notes, that Bitcoin remains open source, according to a COPPA victory, and free to use. The BTC maxis would say, yeah, that's what we want. But if you own BSV, oh my God, can you imagine how many people would FOMO in with a, you know, a Craig Wright victory? The mainstream outlets would report it as well. They only report on good and bad news. I might call it right now. You would see on mainstream news, like breaking news or something, like for Fox Business or CNBC or something like that, Satoshi Nakamoto is Craig Wright. You were trying to tell me that BSV would stay at $45 or whatever it is right now, 50? No way. You would see things go parabolic like you've never seen them before. I think we can agree on that. Now, what about this trial? The trial is expected to last several months, and a judgment is not even expected until early 2024. Huh. Well, Max, what about the Bitcoin halving? Yeah, what about that? What about that? So for one, you can mine BSV. It's got, I guess, the same or similar tokenomics as BTC. It's worth paying attention to. Now, getting more into this, I will share this. This is crazy stuff. And I know I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this, but can you blame me? So I want to share this with you. This comes from my other crypto utility tool belt, which is Reddit. Now check this out. From Reddit, this trial, they're saying it's a trap. You know, I kind of wish I could do Admiral Akbar right now. You know, it's a trap, and you know, without getting the stupid YouTube copyright stuff. But COPPA trial was actually, this guy says it's a trap, and it was set up by CSW's 4D chess master plan to put all the pieces into place. Like, what is that? So I got more into this. Decided to pull this up. Ignore the language. Sorry about this. This guy says, I have a feeling Craig is done effing around this time. He has all the corporate pieces in place. Now, this is some of that stuff you've been watching our show for a while. Cool Cat's been talking about this. And maybe we've been kind of like not even paying attention to that. Maybe some of us are paying attention to him, but, you know, let's just be honest, Cool Cat. You know how it is. Sometimes people just don't take it serious enough. Should we take Cool Cat a little bit more serious? So 8 years is a long time to make one's enemies become complacent and overconfident. When we talk about the whole thing of this was done by design many, many years ago, that's something to be mentioned. Get more into this. Because I don't want to go back and forth. I'll just read it. This guy says 2024, this is 13 hours ago. 2024 is a year that combines everything perfectly. Listen to this for a second. Please listen to this. Like, maybe you don't listen to anything else. I say, listen to this, because I know you guys pay attention to the whole thing of BlackRock, and the whole thing with spot ETFs and so on, right? Bitcoin spot ETFs and so on. Listen to this. This guy says, knockout_SS, 2024 is the year that combines everything perfectly. BlackRock's ETF is 2024, February halving, for instance, was it April? Possible CSW's iceberg, COPPA court case, DMCA in Europe and the United States, the perfect storm. Craig let it be known that the joint trial was his doing, indicating that he sought it from the beginning. What? We can also see that Craig wanted to advance exchange in Kappa. I don't have that point, but he did not succeed. If he did take advantage of the scenario, it would stop seeing him as the greatest strategist that we all think he is. Now, of course, some of these guys are BSV fans, but it makes you wonder about this. So I'm going to jump back to this about what these guys are stating. Let me get more back to it. Sorry about that. And basically, this guy 4 days ago says this is a very strange thing. The cult usually forgets the predictions or promises after they come to fruition date. But the rolling iceberg is how Craig was going to crash BTC at the halving. I'm going to pull that up for you. All right, give me a second. Here it is. Just got to load that. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. So 4 years ago, there was this topic about, it says, CSW said if when he gets, as a Craig Wright, his BTC, he will dump it. Here's the reference. Sorry, I'm going to get to this right page. Here it is. That he will dump it by executing a rolling iceberg order coupled with a 10x leverage short operating across multiple exchanges, while simultaneously doubling of the hash rate coinciding with a halving event. That was 4 years ago. Where are we at now? Another halving event. Open disclosure to all Bitcoin users. This guy does point out something. He also said he wouldn't dump. Why is he more consistent? True, right? But the thing is, this thing coming up. Jumping back to what we have. Kind of have to navigate a bunch of windows. Apologize. Here's a bonus, right? Just in case you're not on board with this. Here are some of his other predictions from a few years ago. He was so, I guess you could say, persistent and so on. No wonder these blankety blanks have such faith in the great strategist. Pull this up. Boy. Let's load that up. Here we go. Satoshi's predictions from Craig S. Wright. Back on June 19th, he does not generally call price, but will we ever be over 1,200 USD? Listen to this for a second. This is back in 2019. Back then he says, I say at 97.8% probably, with a 0.1% for no blockchain winning and 2.1% for another. BTC, he's got those things. I don't know if you guys pay attention to this stuff, but so true value of BTC at market will be between 0.10 and 0.20. Talks about the EOS, 0 to 21 decimal places. You might be one of those types of guys you follow all this technical analysis. I won't bore you with all of it. But he says by a 64% chance of DL in prison. CZ is 93% prison for at least 7 years. That's just crazy stuff. But he says basically BSV within a couple years will be, number one. It didn't happen, but look at this part. There will be, hundreds of coins in the next 2 years. There's thousands of coins. 2 years, most people's opinions would be that they always knew I was Satoshi. I mean, why point that out in 2019? They also said otherwise not being attacked by the crowd. Many in BTC from the early days will not even be millionaires anymore. Think about that for a second. What about all these people that hold BTC? Are they not going to be millionaires no more? Are they hodling too long? It says the main players will change, and this is where it kind of gets me, because I know this is from Reddit and so on, but it does bug me. The main players will change. Who is one of the main players? It's BlackRock. What are they changing to? Are they changing to Ripple? I think so. But what if also BSV has a seat? Now, they do. We know this, Max. That's why we have Bitcoin spot ETFs. But what if they're talking, just again, think about this. What are they talking about in code? So this whole thing is store of value and encrypted messages and so on. I mean, I know some people say, no, Max, they're still going to have a lot of BTC. Okay, I get that. But what if at the same time they also have a lot of what? BSV. That's the point I'm trying to make. The main players will change. All right, gonna show you a little bit more about this. I know it sounds like crazy stuff, and maybe you think this is kind of like conspiracy stuff. I'll show you an actual modern article for a second. I will jump to this. I know it's a lot to take in, but it's an itch that had to be scratched. And speaking of itch, I'm going to get my Mac scratcher for a second. So let's look at this. Let's pull this up. It's comes from CoinGeek. Like, what is this? So back in July 7th of 2022, look what it says about COPA for a second. COPA. I don't know the right way to pronounce it. I guess I'll call it COPA. Delays back then, they delayed Craig Wright's Bitcoin white paper trial until 2024. And it talks about that, there's these parties, they're scheduled to meet with Deputy Master Rayburn back in 2022 for a long-awaited case management conference in which will kickstart a slow roll towards a trial. However, the day before that conference was due, COPA's lawyers, Bird and Bird, what a name, wrote to the deputy master asking him to recuse himself. If I'm pronouncing that right. The order doesn't specify the reasons given. Deputy Master Rayburn is employed by Baker McKenzie, who have acted for the N-Chain in the past. What? What is the connection in regards to N-Chain and BSV? That's a huge connection. Like, that's like the main connection, right? So, I thought there's conflict of interest and stuff like this. I'm just saying. That's crazy. That's one pointing out. And it says, which may be the reason for the request. Deputy Master Rayburn voluntarily recused himself in response to the letter and pushed the case management conference back to September. Now, of course, we're now in October 2023. So this is back in 2022. Critically for COPA, the delay has also pushed out the window for a trial for almost a year. True. According to this week's, or then, the trial is now set to take place in January 11th of 2024 and March 27th of 2024, almost 3 years since COPA's initial filing. This back then was the first significant development in the case since it was filed back in April 2021. The suit has been in a state of suspended animations as Dr. Craig Wright works his way through separate legal battles, chalking up victories as he goes. Now, there was victories, right? It's not like he lost every time. That's also worth pointing out. And the time since COPA was created, and this is why I'm bringing it to you guys. I know this is a lot to take in, but it is Friday surprise, and this is one of the surprises I've given you. Since it was created, the UK High Court has recognized Dr. Craig Wright's authorship over the Bitcoin white paper. The UK High Court. I was trying to give you guys something in which, a balance of the negative and the positive. Now, the positive is the UK High Court. And this is another thing that just drives me crazy. So when I cover quant and you see those interviews, right? You see Rob Paul was like, yeah, I've been talking to some guys. Mike Cornwell mentioned this. Hopefully Mike is available. He's not getting too sidetracked. Mike, if you're in the comments, remember how you stated that you're like, yeah, man, the UK is, so like even the NSA is thinking that maybe the UK is the original ones to create all this tech. The UK High Court recognizes Dr. Craig Wright's authorship over the Bitcoin white paper, right? Recognize them. And it says, currently sues over him. It's like they recognize him, but they don't. Dr. Wright has successfully defended a $100 billion case as Satoshi Nakamoto. Why go through all this trouble? If you're not him, that's a lot of money. I'm just saying, that's a lot of money. In regards to this case of Satoshi Nakamoto in Florida, and has even been prosecuted in regards to a defamation case against blogger Peter McCormick, to the point where McCormick was forced to stop claiming that his alleged defamatory tweets that Dr. Craig Wright is a fraud were true. The outcome of that case, of course, is also pending. Maybe it's concluded since then, since this is 2022, but I'm just trying to show you a good reference. Dr. Wright has also filed cases against Coinbase, Kraken, for passing off both members of COPA, accusing them of using the Bitcoin name to sell unrelated projects. So again, do you notice something? Do you notice a key common factor here? And it is worth pointing out. What's worth pointing out is when people are really guilty, I'm not saying that, Craig Wright for sure is. I don't have a crystal ball. I just present information. But there's something about if a person is guilty, it's just kind of like, I guess you could say, I don't know if you guys ever studied stuff psychology. I'm not saying I'm a psychology expert, but people who are guilty are always kind of like defensive all the time, right? But a person who is innocent and is not guilty, right? There's a difference, obviously, between not guilty and innocent, plain old innocent. You will do, especially if you have the money, in this case he does, whatever it takes to prove, and there's no bounds to where you'll stop to prove your innocence, right? And that is very admirable. All right? I want you to take that away. Now, I want to get into this part. Let me stop the screen for a second. I know this is a lot to take in. And, you know, not every show we're going to get into this, all right? And I'm sure there's lots of comments, but I got to get into some of the more nitty gritty. Now, for some people who might be interested into BSV, you may be saying to yourself, can I mine BSV? That's a great question. I'm going to get back into my last bit of notes. The answer basically is yes, you can mine BSV. However, you need to note that it's expensive and energy intensive. It's not guaranteed to be profitable. Nothing's guaranteed to be profitable. A lot of people like Caspa. That's not guaranteed to be profitable. But you look at the stats, and the stats show that, you know, as of a few weeks ago, it was up over 600%. So there's that. Look at what's happening with BSV right now. There's that, right? The top performer. What about the whole thing back to, you know, the topic of mining BSV? So in regards to mining BSV, you will have to have access to a specialized mining hardware. Obviously an ASIC miner. And now you also have to keep in mind guys from the past who mined Ethereum before it went to proof of stake, they use ASIC miners, right? And there's of course other miners that are ASIC miners that are specifically designed for instance, like, you know, what Will Fix just got. By the way, announcement, Will Fix got his miner in the mail. He took a picture of it and showed it to me earlier, I mean the package. But his particular ASIC miner is specifically designed to just mine Caspa, so he won't be able to mine BSV. But there are other ASIC miners in which like can mine other ones. You know what I mean? So I just want to throw that out. ASIC miners are designed specifically for mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. They are much more efficient than CPUs or even GPUs. Again, look more into it. Do more of your own research. Once you have the necessary hardware, you will need to choose which mining software to join the mining pool. In regards to BSV, once you're connected, the mining software will start mining BSV if you have the right software. If, of course, you're successful in finding a block, of course, you'll be rewarded with just that, BSV, just like you'd be rewarded with BTC or the other ones, right, from other blockchains and so on. You got to keep in mind, though, in regards to the rewards of mining just that, BSV, are decreasing over time, and the difficulty of mining is increasing. But again, that risk to reward ratio, if this thing goes to the moon and beyond, then it probably is worth mining BSV at these current price levels. That's not financial advice. That's just the obvious. All right. Now, let me jump into the next part, what we have, okay? And I know it's a lot to take in, but I gotta give it to you. I really feel as though I need to, and I'll chop this up later. This is the main highlights of the night, BSV. And then we'll get into some of the other coverage that we have. We have some Quant and Jasmy and so on. And that's good in itself. There's this guy. His name is Kristen Auger Hansen. He's a world/brain of brain conservative. He's a commentary on business, tech, law, politics, international affairs, emerging tech, entrepreneur, and venture capitalist. Roughly 30,000 followers. He has stated that in his opinion, and it's just his opinion, BSV is a centralized blockchain controlled and dependent on one man and one man only. Now, hear this out. Who is he referring to? He's referring to this guy. His name is Calvin Ayre. I'm sure Cool Cat probably knows who this guy is. He's the founder of Ayre Group and CoinGeek.com, and as well as BSV blockchain, like he says, scales to enterprise levels today. Not tomorrow, but today. Who also mentions that BSV does it today? Well, Cool Cat always mentions that. So for all the people that continuously ask me if BSV is sustainable and a good investment, I have one question for you. If Calvin Ayre stops funding all the loss-making mining operations, will BSV survive? Well, I don't know. But the key thing is, what would that do in regards to supply and demand? And my thing is, we talk about like Ripple's XRP, you know, you guys have said to me, Max, what happens if, for instance, you know, we can't get XRP off exchanges and so on. Will that drive the price up of of Ripple XRP? My answer would be yes. Anything that becomes more harder to get becomes more of a gem. Think about it for a second. Is it so hard to follow? What are gems? Gems are hard to find. You have to mine them. You have to go out and you have to go, go to the depths of the crazy parts of the world. Maybe, like for instance, I hate to state this, right? African blood diamonds, right? They're really hard to get and people have died over them, but going deep into the earth to get these gems, right? Hard to get. Anything that's hard to get drives price up to a sense, right? Becomes more scarce, more rare, harder to get, drives more of that demand to get it. Look at a particular item that you go to the supermarket to get, right? If that item becomes more hard to get, it does create a sense of demand, supply and demand. So, yes, it becomes harder to get and drives up demand. Getting more into this, I want to share something new with you guys. I didn't want to just do an outline about conspiracy stuff and so on. I do want to give you at least an update. So this is from Blog B, Bitcoin BSV blockchain. The power of Cent B, bringing BSV to your fingertips globally. In this article, this guy named Marquez Comlab tackles the features that make Cent B stand out from the other Bitcoin wallets, adding a quick guide on how to start utilizing one. Now, this is not a nothing burger, but this was posted a few days ago, like 4 days ago, in regards to Cent B. And the reason why I'm pointing this out, bringing it to you guys, is Cent B, like it says, bringing BSV to your fingertips globally. And it mentions that, this reference to digital cash, there's all sorts of different forms of Bitcoin, apparently, right? We've seen BSV, we've seen Bitcoin Cash, and that's, it's had its moments and so on. There's obviously original BTC. But what consistently gets brought up is Bitcoin and cash, or digital cash. So this article dives into this potential of Cent B. I don't think it's just like any other wallet. If it was, I didn't want to even present it to you guys. But it's usable in everyday life. And when we talk about mass adoption, this kind of caught my attention. So it says, whether you're a techie in the US, a traveler in Europe, an adventurer exploring the far reaches of South Africa, right? Cent B has something extraordinary for you. Unlock the secrets of seamless transactions, global utility, and digital cash freedom. All these things, if you think about it, are what the BTC maxis pound home every single day. It says you'll be amazed on how Cent B is bringing us closer to using BSV as portable money that is quick, cheap, and easy to use globally, as Bitcoin was intended to be. So I want to state this, all right? Maybe there's some people that FOMO into this. I get that. All I'm trying to point out is other opportunities. That's all it is, right? I'm not saying that, I've never been the guy that said it's only Ripple, or it's only Stellar, or it's Quant, or it's HBAR, and all this other stuff. Yeah, you guys know how I feel about Quant and XRP. They're tied for my number one. But I'm going to take BSV a little bit more serious, because I'm looking at it from the perspective of when you have the BSV or the BTC maxis saying that, Bitcoin is freedom, and, it's going to be used globally. And then you see that this is digital cash freedom. Well, that's definitely worth paying attention to. So Cent B has an update. They've been on the BSV wall for a while now. The reason they, I guess, are a big proponent of BSV is turning, Bitcoin into cash. Isn't that like something that was mentioned many years ago? But in reality, not people really do that, because it's like the transactions are very slow, cost too much. So I'm gonna let this speak for itself. This is Cent B, and it says bringing BSV, Bitcoin SV, to your fingertips globally. This is only like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna play this. Please smash the like if you appreciate the content tonight. Here we go. I'm back. Excuse me. We're gonna We're gonna watch on YouTube to make it a little bigger. Sorry about that. Hold on. I got to skip this commercial real quick. All right. All right. Oh man, the full one is 36 minutes. All right, we'll leave it here. Maybe I'll shrink the screen down. I think that's what will fix it. Yep, that's what will fix it. So I apologize. Let's just shrink the screen down a tad bit. There we go. All right, my bad. Let me go ahead and refresh the screen real quick. Okay. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, it's Marcus here from bsvsearch.com. SendBee has been a BSV wallet that I've been wanting to try out for a while now. And the reason is because of its commitment to having Bitcoin used as cash. It aligns with my belief that BSV is ready to serve as an everyday token that we can use to exchange for the things that we need to live, to have fun, and to get things done. So in this video, we're going to download the app, we're going to explore its options, features, and function. It is available in many countries around the planet, so we will click around to see what types of businesses are participating in the countries that I often visit. So I'm going to click on those, and also countries that I am interested in visiting. And I think we'll be amazed by the number of participating businesses who are now working with SendBee. So let's dive straight in. We're going to look for SendBee. Here it is. We're going to install it. Installing. Open. Referral code. Don't have anyone's referral code. Just on this, here are languages. Netherlands, Turk, Zulu, Italiano, French, Filipino, Spanish, Dutch, German. Okay, so that's me. English. Start. Okay, English. Mobile number. So you need to type in your mobile number. Okay. We'll choose our country. Okay. They're going to send you a code. That's the code. Paste the code. Confirm. Code accepted. Tap here to recover an existing SendBee wallet. No, we don't have one. Select a pin. Okay. I'm going to select a pin. Re-enter. Choose a name. I'm probably the only one with this name. Okay. It's available. Back up your wallet. If you don't back up your wallet now, you may lose your coins. Syncing your wallet. What have we got here? Change theme, refresh balance, change theme, dark light, peachy. Okay. BSV equals that. So we're going to back up our wallet. If you lose this phrase, you will lose your coins. So that's really important. So what have we got? Now that we have logged on, let's check out what they've got. How are you feeling? All right. Great. Okay. It's like you're greeting. I'm feeling great. So that's done. Display name is that. Last name is that. Use email as paymail. Referral code. Privacy policy. I can add my picture there. Later I can do that. There's a help file here. What else have we got? We've got the home. That's the paymail. You can receive using a scanner, scan code, or for the Bitcoin address. It's denominated in euros. Description, great. T-shirt, we're buying a t-shirt, for example. And then we say request. So it's now looking for our contacts. So we can say mobile number. Right. So it works with a mobile number. Interesting. You can add SendB handle. You can add their handle there. Great. So,
all right. I don't know what happened there. It said it was only supposed to be like 2 or 3 minutes, and when I played it earlier, it was 2 or 3 minutes. So I apologize. Anyway, that and I had to step away for a minute. So sorry about that. Anyway, we're gonna round this off here in a bit. Of course, chopped up version will be a lot better. So I'm now going to show you the last bit of this, and this is one of the key areas. And on this one, I can basically see how long it's going to be. So wrapping things up, you've heard about BSV, some of the partnerships they have, and one of the key things that also stands out in regards to BSV is IBM. So let's take a look into that for a second. What is this whole thing with IBM? So let me go ahead and jump to this, and gone ahead and just fast forward it to this particular part for you guys. What is IBM's take on BSV blockchain from Dr. Agata Slater, if I'm pronouncing that right? This particular segment is about 5 minutes, and if it goes over this time too far, I'll go ahead and intervene and stop it. So let's go ahead and play this. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Here we go.
View of how Bitcoin SV and its capabilities kind of sit in the kind of landscape of blockchain that you work with.
Mm-hmm. So being here in this conference and many other events related to Bitcoin SV, I know that there is a very passionate community behind this technology. Us stepping in, me personally representing IBM, I'm a bit more withdrawn from that discussion as to, which blockchain is the best, which protocol is the most optimal one. As I said in the beginning, we really just are looking to solve our clients' problems with the best tech solutions there are. So by definition, we're agnostic as to, we're like passionless about this technology, but that leaves us an open mind to really assess the technical capabilities of this technology. And I mentioned as well that we're a comprehensive team. We have, technical architects, we have developers, and we all looked at this technology together, and we assessed it from many different angles, and we feel that it offers a very good fit for enterprise use cases because of its scalability, because of low transaction costs. When you're proposing a solution to an enterprise, first thing that they're looking for is stability. They can't afford to take the risk that in 2 years' time, the blockchain that they are building an application on is not going to exist. So us proposing a permissionless solution to an enterprise, we're also, as IBM, accountable in some ways for that. So we have to make sure that the technology fits well. And the second thing that they're looking for is scale. And there are very few technologies, permissionless blockchains that offer the type of scale that BSV promises. And I'm saying promises because to me, we're sort of still missing the real life applications of that scale. I think this is going to change as more enterprises that have that scale by design are stepping into the ecosystem. That will be a real stress test for BSV.
So it would be helpful for IBM to point to some commercial use of Bitcoin SV and sort of say, well, look, this is already working. We've got a case study here that should give you confidence. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, true. However, we're yet to see, this technology being used by enterprises at scale, but I think this is going to change very soon. And we work with many clients. Some of them are still very attached to this idea of permissioned blockchains. But as we've already said, this is sort of like a continuum. It's like the cloud evolution, right? You start from a private cloud, then you move on to hybrid, and then you end up with public cloud. Something similar happening with blockchain, but as enterprises, and there are more advantageous, adventurous enterprises who are stepping into this space. I think we're very quickly going to see that scale being really implemented in an enterprise context.
And what about the specific partnerships that you have with BSV related startups. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Yes. So last year we were collaborating extensively with Smart Ledger on building the CertiHash application. And this year last year, we started a very successful collaboration with Gate2Chain, who are very promising, fantastic, enthusiastic team. And together we have built an application called Trace that creates an immutable record of transactions and a history of any asset, basically, and in a form of a digital twin.
And I know that that can be used to trace the provenance of food, because there's been some sort of dinners where people have been able to see where their lettuce leaf came from and stuff like that.
That's true. I sadly missed that, but I heard it was good.
But so that is something, I mean, was Gate2Chain your client in that circumstance, or were you sort of hiring them to produce something that you can then offer to other clients?
So,
all right, I thought on that note, because it's about Gate2Chain and so on, which it's fine if you want to nerd it out more, you can. But the point was that key takeaway in regards to BSV and IBM. Okay, and that's why I want to share that with you guys. All right, to wrap things up, the way I look at it is like this. In conclusion, when it comes to BSV, for me personally, I'm looking to add way more to my portfolio for BSV. That's what I'm personally doing. I'm not saying that you go out and do it for yourself. It's not financial advice ever. But the way I look at it is, I see this pathway forward for BSV. Some people may look at it as a gamble. Let's just be honest about that. Like, some people say, well, if Craig Wright, this whole thing of he gets deemed as he's not Satoshi Nakamoto, that's going to tank the price of a BSV. How about this for size? What if he is found guilty, right? And that does end up happening. Aren't we supposed to have focus on the actual utility? And is that such a bad thing? So it might also be another opportunity where wow, all right, so it does tank. But what about when you still see circumstances like the whole thing of IBM and whatnot? Some people say, well, they'll pull out and so on. Again, it's never financial advice. Do more of your own research and decide for you if it's for you or not. But for me, there's too many factors that state that if he is the real Satoshi, then I'd rather take that chance, I guess you could say that gamble, that he is. And if that is the case, oh my goodness. I honestly think if I had to pick one as far as FOMO, that would create probably more FOMO than anything else out there. And that is what attracts me to this. Just being blunt, being honest about that. But even on the surface, right? Even if there was no Craig Wright as Satoshi Nakamoto, let's say that never existed. Let's say he never even claimed to be Satoshi, period. The utility of BSV really is impressive. IBM recognizes that. Some of these other ones obviously recognize that. What was that thing we saw earlier? Visa recognizes that. When you take more of a deeper dive into BSV, it becomes more clear that, all right, not too bad. For instance, I hold, Quant. And I say to myself, well, Quant, great price, right? We might not see it at these prices much longer. Some people said might go down to 60. I don't think we see 50 or anything like that. Obviously, I'll take advantage of that. At the same time, I'm not going to buy more BSV on these green candles. That's just me. But I may wait for a little bit more of that dip again. Let's face it. I mean, that could happen. It might not happen, especially if we're really at the start of a bull market. But you got to pay attention to all this stuff. I'm paying attention to it. And my thing is, I think I'm going to treat BSV how I should originally treated BTC. And that is, I buy it at these prices and I hold it for a very, very long time. Max, you are going to hold it to 2025. 2025 to the moon. No. This is when I treat it a little bit different. Kind of like how we should all treated BTC. You should have had an entry point of, a great example, $100 per BTC, right? Back in 2013. If you would just simply held that from 2013 to maybe, 20, 2021, right? That would have been roughly what, 8 years. Looking to hold this for kind of like that amount of time. As like, wow. And you know what? Right now, even pulling up like a calculator, let's just pull up BTC one more time. One more time. It's still doing well. Here it is on your screen. It's the top performer. All right, sitting at 53 bucks. So, you know, maybe I wait for it to pull back, obviously below 50 or something. Might not do that, but you know, it's a good chance it will. And you know, actually, I see another thing is about 49. So let's just say 49, for instance. And then, you know, for some of you guys, maybe you have a different type of budget. You know, I don't know. I mean, we all have different circumstances and so on. So, it sounds expensive. 49 of these things would be like, you know, 4,900 bucks. Do you buy, I don't know, let's say you buy only 25 of these times 49. That's roughly about 1225, right? That sounds also pretty expensive. What about you don't have that kind of budget, right? Let's say, for instance, you do, I don't know, let's just say 15 of these times 49, 735 bucks, okay? And then basically, let's say, you know, you kind of DCA or whatever, and you just say, you know what, I just want like a little bit more of these, whatever the case be. But let's just say it's just 15, okay? You're good on 15. Well, I'm not saying that it goes to 69K, but what about if it went to, for instance, 10K in the next 7 to 10 years? Just hear me out on this. You know, so you have 15 of these. It goes to, it's just basic math, guys. Come on, you know, I mean, 15 times 10,000. Is that so bad to have made 150,000 on it? Some people are going to say there's other better opportunities. Hey, I get that, especially when we talk about Ripple's XRP, all that. But I am looking at it from the perspective of, you want to know something? That's on the low end. What if it did go to some of the other prices, that, you know, like 69K or higher? You know, just it depends on how long you're looking to hold it. Because why are we referencing some of these prices? Because of what BTC basically did in the past and so on. Do we get that adoption that BTC has? We could, because those at the beginning of the outline, we mentioned about this shift, right? Where you have millionaires. They were once millionaires, and then they made a hodl too long on this and go into the new innovation. Could that very well happen? You know, we talk about people from Ethereum jumping shift to going to other ones. What about the old Bitcoin people, the old BTC people? Will they jump to this? What about institutions? Will they jump to this? So in that crazy scenario, let's not even say 69K. Let's just put it right at 60,000 times, you know, like 15 of these things. That's $900,000. Now you're starting to really talk some crazy stuff. And I know that might sound like my version of hopium, but I don't know. I think all of it is worth pointing out, and I thought I would point it out. So with that said, that's going to wrap up today's deep dive in regards to BSV. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Maybe you didn't. Give me your thoughts, your concerns in regards to it. I'll try to kick it back to the comments finally. I'm way behind the comments, I know. The next bit of coverage that we'll have tonight for you guys is Quant and JASMY. Yes, one more time. I know it sounds crazy, but one more time. We're going to get into that. So JASMY's your thing, or Quant's your thing, or both of them. We're going to actually combine both of them together for the outline. And the key takeaway is going to be finance democracy. I'm done for tonight talking about, or at least for the week, talking about Internet of Things, IoT, right? I don't mean that in a bad way. We know that JASMY's entering into the whole thing of finance democracy. So do I have a good outline in regards to that? You better believe I do. Will be as long as BSV? No, it won't. I promise. All right, we're going to get back into catching up on the comments. Here we go. So I did read that super chat from a while ago from PD Pure. Thank you again for that. And let me try to catch up on stuff. So actually, I'm going to go to the other window from Will Fix's side of things, just to kind of catch up over there. We had some comments that came in. And I want to welcome Nikki W. Says, happy Friday. Thank you so much for the comment. Omega Opinion, XRP for live, crypto to the moon. I love technology, he says. BTC forever, E forever, NFT forever, 20 and then 2030. Ooh, what a beautiful time. Another one from him, 2035. Who can hold cryptos? Only the strong will survive 10 years to become multimillionaire. All right, that's good comments. And then G Ball. Oh, I know who this guy is. That's a horrible way to pronounce your name. Just popped up from the UK for my dose of hopium before he goes to sleep. Well, thanks for stopping by. There's about, I guess, 9 or 10 people from the Will Fix stream. We do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's kick it back to this particular stream. We have, I guess you could say, a total of 35 people on both still watching. Not bad. And let's see, you guys got any specific questions or comments? Michael Montclair, thank you for being here. That was a while ago. Snowy Alpine saying hello to Texas Crypto. Thank you for being here. Texas says 87 acres for sale in Wyoming, 48 million. My dream property. Nice. All right, let's go further down. Jack Thompson, I think I welcomed you at some particular point. Let's see here. Nice taste in music. Most Def is one of my favorites. Yeah, I like him. My favorite's Nas, though. But all right, Stargazer, welcome. Glad to have you. All right, I'm gonna go further down. Just trying to catch up on anything I might have missed. All right, let's see here. I guess I missed this at some point, so I do apologize. Vegas Inu token is a different meme, bro. All right. Well, thank you for the $10 super chat. Sorry that I missed that earlier. I don't even know if he's still here. If he's not, then if I see him again next time, I'll definitely have to thank him. Sorry about that. All right, let's see here. PD Pure, Big Broski. I hold XRP, XLM, HBAR, XDC, Quant IO. That's awesome, man. I'm glad to see you guys. You know, hey, there's people who hold meme coins and utility. That's cool, super cool. And guys, I'll give PD Pure, Air Jordan, all these Vegas Inu people a warm welcome. All right. Let's see here. Yes, Vegas Inu with YouTuber Docs Dev. That's cool. All right, let's see here. Calvin, welcome back. Calvin the Fifth. Top of the day, top of the morning, brother. Max, many blessings to you. Thanks for everything. You're very welcome. And with that said, let's welcome Ms. Tia Lintz. Hi, everybody. It's been a while. Miss y'all. All right, I got to stop doing that voice. Anyway. Good to see you, though, Tia. Hopefully you're enjoying your Friday night. Let's see here. Yes, the remake of 310 to Yuma was better for sure. Yeah, I mean, especially that opening scene with the Gatling gun. That was so cool. You know, on the stagecoach. That was radical. All right. Jay Davis, I think you asked the question on where to get Jasmy, if I'm right. Or maybe I'm confusing you with somebody else. Let me double check that. I think you are. Maybe you are somebody else, though. But nonetheless, let's welcome Jay Davis. And glad to have you here. Appreciate you. Cliff Roseboom, it's people like us who think outside the box. If we didn't, we wouldn't be here. That's true. That is very, very true. And how about this? You wouldn't even be here on a Friday night, right? You'd be out doing something else, which is true. Let's welcome Ahmed. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know you said hey. Good to see you, Mr. Ahmed. Best avatar in all crypto. Let's just be honest. That takes the cake. Some people say, no, Max, there's other better avatars. Nope. This is the one. And this is the one I will wear when I go vote. I had to get a shirt made with that. And it's going to say, I voted. And then that way, when the guy comes up to me and says, excuse me, sir, I'd like to give you this button or give you the sticker that you voted. Be like, nope, bro. I already have the shirt. Well, you should still put this. Nope. Sir, why not? Because I have the shirt. That's why. I already got the cookie. Okay? Okay. Henry Brown, Binance to discontinue European Visa cards. After 3 years, support for the payment cards will be terminated. Oh my gosh. On December 20th, 2023. So BSV all the way on that one. No, I'm just kidding, but it sounds pretty cool. Sobo giving dabs to Ahmed, and Cool Cat. BSV back on sale at $52. All right. Cliff Rosebum, thank you, bro. Always be here as much as we can. All right, thank you. I got to catch way up on the comments because I'm way behind. Henry Brown, WrestleMania night. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's see here. What else did I miss? I'm sure I missed something. That's right. Everybody giving dabs to Cool Cat. He's kind of like the star of the night, right? Venture, you're a venturer. You venture around, around, around. I like you, bro. And that's that. All right, thank you. Maybe you're talking to Cool Cat. Maybe you're talking to me. Maybe you're talking to both. I don't know. All right, let's see here. Market caps are as irrelevant as Caroline's pogo stick. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. All right, let's see here. You down with BSV? Yeah, you know me. All right, let's see here. I wish these chats had a reply function. Get your act together, YouTube. All right. BlackRock is probably who has been buying BSV, and that's something to point out, right? Like, that's crazy stuff. Taco Bell doo-doo is greater than market cap. Oh God, you had Taco Bell tonight. I'm sorry. I mean, sometimes it's real good. Okay, can I just make one recommendation real quick before we go more into the crypto content? What you guys need to do, if you're kind of tired of the same old stuff from Taco Bell, get yourself the chicken roll tacos that they have. They're actually pretty good. And I live in, obviously, Phoenix, Arizona, where we have not just Taco Tuesday, but we have rolled taco Mondays, right? Get 3 rolled tacos for $1.49. Some places they charge $2. They used to be, 99 cents. It was so cool, right? 33 cents a taco, basically. But Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos take the cake. I'm just being honest. They just taste a lot better. And why they call them rolled tacos? In reality, rolled tacos are taquito. Anyway. All right, let's see here. VIT all-time highs incoming. Mike Jones. What's that from back in the day? Before the ice was on my grill, before my major record grill or deal, these curls couldn't give a. Mike Jones. What song was that? Who? Mike Jones. That sounds so familiar. It's from Mike Jones anyway. All right, let's read this from Cool Cat. Just a couple more. BSV market cap went from about 600 million to over 1 billion just a few days. And that is worth pointing out. Yep. Boom to the triple C. All right, let's welcome GS, who is in the house. Where to get BSV besides KuCoin? You could get it on Ishmart, aka Bitmart. Me and Will Fix had this conversation. Let's pull up a couple other ones. Where else can you get this? Why are you talking like that, Max? I don't know. Because I can. Why do you say you can? Because it's getting late. Why is it late? I don't know. All right. As you guys can see in my portfolio, I don't have a lot of this yet. But I'm gonna get some more. All right, so let's see here. BSV news, money printing. Huh. It's funny. I might have to look more into that. But we already covered a lot of BSV tonight. All right, so I have my BSV on KuCoin. I need to obviously get it out there, but anyway, that's where I originally got it. You might have to use like a VPN or something now. Okay, well, Max, I'm not that guy. I just want to get it somewhere else. That's a good question. So where else can you get this? Guys, I can't remember. I remember Volt was so happy about Pauline EX being exchanged, a centralized exchange. Is Pauline EX American friendly? I don't know. I know that we can't go with OKX because, if you're American, you can't go with that. Gate.io, I think, is the same thing. I think Probit, that's where we would get like XSwap, XSP, right? So there's that. What else? I think maybe MEXC has it. Let's see. MEXC. So some people say that MEXC It's kind of like KuCoin now, but Tim Shea doesn't have any problems. So there's that, right? So I would, if it was me, I would probably try PolyNex. I would probably try MEXC. I think my first choice would probably be MEXC, just to be honest. You could try, obviously, Bitmart, aka Ishmart. Mike Cornwell knows all about Ishmart. I know about it too, but most of my garbage is on, Bitmart. I'm talking about my meme token stuff. My Piccolo Inu. My Piccolo Inu to the moon. To the moon. Yeah. Yeah. All right. See, all these other ones, I've never heard of these. And I just don't know if I want to trust that, I mean, I get it. Do more of our own research, but Probit, I think we already mentioned them. Probit Global. It's just like, it's kind of like, dang, man. So another thing I was talking about with Will Fix was like, all right, well, why don't we just test it? Like, do a VPN, right? Find out what your address is. If you already have a KuCoin address or a KuCoin account, right? Find out what your USDT address is on KuCoin. Send it from, whatever outlet you use. Send the USDT to KuCoin. Then you have it primed, ready to go. Then you purchase it, obviously, with a VPN. This is not financial advice, but, there's always ways around anything. I'm going to go to the last page. I'm just trying to see if there's, like, anything else that stands out. No. So, obviously, PolyNex would probably be the one I go with. Sorry, MEXC would probably be the number one if we don't have any problems. Then PolyNex, then Ishmart. Then again, if you have that workaround for KuCoin, I would just say just do KuCoin. But anyway. All right, hopefully that answers it for Tia. Good to see you here tonight, Ms. Tia Lins. T. Lins. All right, let's go further down. GS says at 6:37, which was a while ago. It's getting really close to dumping on everyone's favorite token. Yeah. Dumping off the tokens into the liquidity pool. Will Fix stole that for me, by the way. Shout out to Will Fix. Boom. All right. What token is that? GS. Saitama. Oh, jeez. Let's face it. I'm married to my Saitama. I have to be. You know what I mean? It's so sad. How many of you guys are still married to your Saitama or this garbage? Mononoke. Anyway. Let's welcome the one and only Mr. Dingy. Yes. I love how Will Fix he doesn't call you Din G. He just calls you Dingy. Like your dog. Like Benji. Dingy. You know what I mean? You're a good dog. Dog is like this. I mess with you lightly. Because I knew if I mess with you too deep, you bite me. Get mad at me. Send blankety blank out to fight me. All this time, I know you didn't like me. What is that from? Do you know your hip hop? Who am I referencing there? All right. Boomerang for Sooner. No, not Quant. Anything but Quant and JASMY. Obviously, you're joking because you hold both. All right. Dingy. I'm going to say it like Will Fix. Dingy. So let me get this straight. XRP, QNT, XLM, BSV, get all the money in the world and Mars, baby, baby. That's right. That's right. Basically, when you see comments like this, you just put on Junior Mafia from back in the day, get money. You know what I mean? That's all you need to do. Just listen to Lil Kim, Biggie Smalls, Lil C's, and get money, right? That's where it's at. And anything that has to do with Puff Daddy, you just leave him out. You know what I mean? I'm telling you flat out. I think he has something to do with the whole Tupac thing. I shouldn't judge, but there's a lot of evidence that supports that. And if that's the case, then shame on him for taking away one of the greatest musicians of all time. I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Puff Daddy. Was never really a fan of Puff Daddy anyway, so there's that. Stop talking about that stuff, Max. Go back to crypto. Okay. All right, let's read this from Boomerang and Sooner. Me love Quant and JASMY long time. All right, let's see if you guys got any specific questions or comments, which is fine. GS, Boomer Jasmy can be used at Japanese. What? All right. Cool Cat Crypto, the dev for the project Babbage, who is brilliant coder, said BSV will scale to tens of millions of TPS in the near future. That's crazy. And I was watching some of those interviews from what's his name, Dr. Ladid, or whatever how you pronounce it. You can tell that he thinks most crypto is a scam, like a scam. But he consistently is like, BSV though, nope. And that is something to be mentioned. All right, let's see here. Here's the other guy with the second best avatar in all of crypto. Again, Mr. Ahmed, if you're here tonight, you need to have a new broski. His name is Binary Links, and he's basically like, hola, man. You're talking about the roll tacos. I'm here for my opium, man. And this guy, Maximus Crypto, wants to talk about wheel fixing, though. And the opium, man. You talking to me? All right, I'll stop you. I'll stop you. On a serious note, man, I hope you don't take that the wrong way. I love your avatar. I just think it's so cool. Like, can you imagine him being at Walmart just for a second, right? Okay, excuse me, sir. It's going to be $7.89. I got a coupon, man. It's supposed to be $1.23. What are you telling me, huh? I couldn't get it for $1.26? I'm sorry, sir. I just work here. Anyway, enough about that. Might not get my Eagle Scout badge. All right, Dinshi saying hello. All right, let's also welcome Nikki W. Glad to have you here tonight. I'm just trying to see if you guys have any specific questions. Obviously, we talked about BSV, who sells it, PolyNex, Maxi, some of these other ones. I'm kind of catching up on your guys' comments. So I'll read this and then I'll just jump further down. Bitcoin is not interchangeable with anything else. It doesn't matter if someone else or something is better, faster, and cheaper than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin doesn't have to be any of that. Like, I've got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Bitcoin don't have any time for that. Yes. Magic power. Therefore, there will be a better Bitcoin. Yes, I love what you're stating here. So maybe Magic Power's on board. The better Bitcoin is BSV because it's the real Bitcoin. Maybe. I don't know for sure. Max, you're on both sides of the fence. I'm just looking at it from like, I don't know. But I am on board on taking that chance because I don't want to be left out. Again, guys, it's a form of FOMO. Let's just be honest about that. Is that such a bad thing, though? I mean, even if you missed out at the prices I came in at 25, right? I think my average was 30. My average price was 30. It says I'm up like 77%. Am I complaining about being in profits technically during a bear market still? No. Who would complain about that? Nobody can complain about that. All right, got you. I got the same message from KuCoin. Okay. Craig Wright was spot on. Let's read this. I got read some of that. That is quite an interesting avatar. I'll state that. In reality, it kind of looks like a guy with a ski mask, like with a green screen ski mask, right? But at the same time, it could just be a guy wearing a black outfit with two sleeves and two hands, and he came up behind somebody and cut a hole. I'm just kidding. All right. I gotta have fun too, you guys. Jeez. All right, let's go further down. T-Lens is BSV, the real Bitcoin, allegedly. Cool Cat says Craig Wright owns all the important patents for Bitcoin, and that's what COPA is after. They can't make BTC work without them. And that's another thing. If he owns all the important patents and it's proved that he's the real guy, then Cool Cat, I mean, was I too far off on this? I'm looking at it from the perspective of that all those royalties will kick in. And then for us as the holders of BSV, doesn't that like just send the dang price to the moon and then some? I'm willing to take that chance. That's just my perspective. I mean, I don't think it's rocket science, man. I honestly don't. But if I'm missing something, somebody let me know. Anyway. All right, let's see here. Most people have been fooled into thinking BTC is Bitcoin. BTC and Bitcoin Cash are forks of the original Bitcoin, or BTC. All right, Tim is spot on. Okay. Well, I did recognize, I referenced that at the very beginning of the outline. Magic Power, the whole world knows Bitcoin is BTC. Only some cats don't. Uh-oh. Papa Doc, what you gonna do? Magic, you are one of the ones that got fooled. Most of the world are idiots. Oh, boy. My thing is, I'm not saying who's who on this one. I'm not really taking sides. It's not about that. But again, guys, it's not about like throwing tens of thousands of dollars at this, you know? It's just saying to yourself, is it worth taking the chance of, you know, is it just worth not taking the chance? I don't think it's worth it. So I'm looking to throw more at it. That's just me. Because I guess you could say, instead of me going after, and again, this is not any knock on Vegas Inu, but like meme tokens, I'm done going after meme tokens. So how do I justify, I guess you could say, my gambles? That would be my justification. So, you know, some of you guys do it. Mike Cornwell does it, freaking leveraging the crap out of stuff, right, Mike? Are you there tonight? I don't know if you are. All right. That's okay, too. Let's go further down. I'm going to read just a few more comments and then see how far caught up I am. All right, let's see here. I want to welcome this guy, Mr. Patrick Collier, if I didn't welcome you earlier. T-Lens, so 10 BSV should be enough. Laughing. I mean, I have I think 7.5 or 8. So I'm trying to make new goals, you know, like I wouldn't mind doing a lot more than that, like maybe 15 or 20. Some of you guys got like 100 or something. I mean, you know, good for you. I mean, but yeah. Like, yeah, Cool Cat says, hey, that's a nice amount. I mean, it's just all about what your budget is, right? But make an entry point if you choose to do so. Not financial advice. All right, let's read this from Omega Opinion. Ape just a buck. Wait until 2030. Woo-hoo. NFTs, Metaverse, and gaming is here to stay. All right, thanks for that comment. All right, so Cool Cat is saying that he has XRP, XLM, Cosmos. BSV, though, is by far his biggest holding. I would expect that. Can you be an XRP maxi at 10K? No, but I imagine you would be maybe like a killer whale or something. So BSV take over BTC. I'm going to read some of this stuff. This is good stuff. Cool Cat says, oh, yes, BSV will be number 1 and BTC will crash to 0. I know I'm so far behind the comments still, though. Hello, Max. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. I'm trying to do well. You know, personal stuff kind of gets in the way. It's the way it is. It's a grind. Enchain is light years ahead of everyone else looking to Enchain. Yeah, we did a little bit. Not tonight, though. Boomer F and Sooner. Well, you're not going to make FU money with Bitcoin unless you already have FU money. In Boomer's opinion, you could make FU money with QNT, JASMY, BSV, and HBAR. Speaking of which, I probably need to get into this outline. So what we're going to do now is recognize Mr. Edward Vincent. I'm not defensive. You are defensive. Just kidding. What the heck? What is this? All right, let's welcome Edward Squidward and the one and only Mr. Elon Muff. All right, let's use that as a bookmark. I'm going to double check the other screen, see how we're doing. I think we're good. For the most part, I saw somebody mention something about Hulk. It is what it is when it comes to him. Can we all agree on this, though? Isn't it a nice breath of fresh air? Like, there's Hulk. It's kind of like narcissism and toxic, right? Great researcher. Don't get me wrong. When he focuses on the material. But I can't watch his live show anymore. I used to. I just can't do it anymore. But isn't it a nice breath of fresh air? Then there's Will Fix. It's like, whatever Hulk's toxic negativity or whatever it is, then there's Will Fix is like the extreme opposite of that. Is that such a bad thing? Shout out to our brother Will Fix. All right, let's get into what we have. We have some of that JASMY QNT for you. Max is doing it again. Why does Max keep doing this? Why wouldn't I do it? So here is what I'm going to show you here in a bit. I got to close out all these BSV tabs. Sorry, Cool Cat, but we already covered BSV. And Cool Cat, could you give me some feedback? Did you like what I covered? I mean, I know I wasn't able to cover everything, but Yeah. Give me some feedback. All right. I'll give you feedback, Max. Screw you and your QNT. BSV to the moon. Sell all your QNT for BSV, Max. No, I'm kidding. I don't think he's saying that. Maybe he's saying that. Anyway. I got to close out some more tabs. Almost done. Almost done. And here we go. All right. So it's not going to start right off with the QNT. We're going to do it with the JASMY first. So I'm going to give a shout out to NeoX Tricks. Let me pull up the branding, because this doesn't help. And then tonight on the replay, I will go back in later and I'll chop up chapters on both Maximus Crypto and Will Fix, because I feel like, I might not be able to do it every time, but tonight I need to do that. All right. So, yep, there's our branding. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. If you're just now tuning in, we are now about to start our JASMY coverage. I want to give a shout out to both two individuals. For one, NeoX Tricks for the JASMY research. And then on top of that, the one and only Quant Papa. For the purposes of tonight, we will be covering JASMY and QNT once again in regards to this connection. But before we get into that, we're going to cover some things in regards to some key findings for JASMY. So I just want to advise that through this outline, which is not going to be super, super long, we are going to first cover some of the research and then tie some of the other things in. When we get to the QNT part, you will see up here that icon changed to QNT. All right, so here it is basically. And NeoX Tricks gets really, really into this. So let's go ahead and pull this up. And if anything, try to blow it up a little bit. So he goes on to mention that in 2015, here is an official notice regarding the acquisition of program for a smartphone application copyright by SourceNext and Bajit Japan, whose director, which is Kazumasa Sato, KDDI, SoftBank, NTT, Docomo, which is the national company's relationship. He says, so he concludes that JASMY will necessarily have partnerships like this concerning its technology or other services with various companies which are Bajit's partners or clients. Now, we continuously cover some of those clients and partnerships with Bajit. One of the key ones that obviously stands out is Google, right? But you got to keep in mind, Bajit, still, Kazumasa Sato, Kunitaki Ando, JASMY, Sato, Ando. This last one is an offshore IT development company for DX. Without being official, JASMY is necessarily surrounded by Bajit. It's still a fact. Now, what is he talking about here? I've gone ahead and chose to blow this up for you. And in the process of doing so, we are going to get it nice and even for you. Here's the document. It dates back all the way to October 28th of 2015. Now I'm going to blow this up a little bit more so you can see it. So on this one, and maybe I could just blow it up even that much more. Yeah, let's just do this for a second. Made it too big, didn't I? All right. So you will see here, October 25th, 2015, the FASF, and it goes in to mention, notice regarding the acquisition of program copyright for the smartphone app. I want you to pay attention to this. Shoe convenience tools. Max, this is a nothing burger. It's not a nothing burger. We'd like to inform you that on October 27th, 2015, we concluded an agreement to acquire the program copyright as shown below. You know how many times we reference, for instance, patents and copyrights here? I want to state this. I want to share this with you. The reason for acquisition says our company has previously partnered with Bajit to develop the smartphone app Show convenient tools, which includes KDDI Corporation's SmartPass. What do we know about JASMY lately? The smart wallet. What about the smart chain coming up? Again, guys, the writing is on the wall. SoftBank's Mobile Corp, AppPass, and NTT Docomo Inc. have provided great content to all three major domestic carriers. By acquiring the program copyright for this app, we'll be able to ensure a stable supply of products and make agile improvements. We believe this will lead to further expansion of products, or I should say profits. Now look at number 2. And this might be hard to see because, I mean, you got to keep in mind you might be on your couch, your phone, and so on. And I respect that. I try to make it as big as I could without, having to go back and forth horizontally. But I'm going to get into this next part. Let's draw your attention to where it says details of just that, those acquired assets. Android app. Come on, man. You know how many times Hara has given us just little, I guess you could say, teasers? Some people don't like that. Some people don't like the idea that he gives these teasers. Think about why he gives the teasers, guys. Probably because of NDA. Let's be honest. Is JASMY the only ones that have to, or they can't live under the rule of NDA? No, many different crypto projects and different companies have NDAs. So it says, plain as day, details of the assets, Android app, super convenience tools. What does Hara always reference? He calls it the super wallet, right? Now we're going to super NFTs, super chain, layer 2 AI, blockchain solution, right? But the writing is all on the wall, consistently references some of this stuff. So you have the overview of the acquired copyright. You have the head. Who's the head? It's Bajit. Where's the office location? Well, it's in Tokyo. Okay. How much? 242.1 million yen. I mean, we convert that to American dollars. I mean, still up there. Who's the director, Max? Where's the JASMY plug? The JASMY plug's always been Bajit. Well, I want to see somebody's name. Director and president? Who? Kazumasa Sato. Like, are we not paying attention to this? Look at this. Representative capital major, development, package software development, human resources recruitment. Goes more into some of this. I think actually it doesn't. Sorry about that. But, sorry. Bottom part. Acquire intellectual property rights. Continually improving our products. Increasing customer satisfaction. Right. Improving the products. Keeping true to the white paper. Have people forgotten about that? It's not that people forgotten about it, Max. It's that people simply don't read the white paper. Let's just be real. Most of us don't do that. That's no knock on anybody, but most people don't do that. Why are people getting so emotional when it comes to JASMY? Oh, I don't like migrations. Well, sorry. That's no knock on anybody, but if you read the white paper, they're keeping towards their promise. That's the bottom line. But the connections here. Now, back to NeoXTrix. And by all means, give him a follow at Bana817. He deserves your follow. So he goes into detail about Sato, Kazumasa Sato. And basically, it's said in this interview, some of these things you're about to see, but when we blow this up, it's going to confirm to you that everything that like NeoXTrix was talking about, and that is, let me just see if you can see this all right, and that is basically how he assumed that we were able to assert that these patents were basically just there. Like, these patents are a real thing. It says JASMY will be able to browse Hyperledger Fabric. How many times did I cover that? I covered the whole deep dive about Fabric at least 2 or 3 times. I give you an example of Hyperledger Besu. I give you some other examples even when it came to Quant and Overledger 2.0 update back in, what was it, March, April 2022 roughly, and how they had interoperability and the upgrade to basically allow for Fabric and that whole consortium of Besu, all that stuff, right? Awesome stuff. Even showed you the whole thing of Soramitsu with Japan, how Soramitsu uses ISO TC307, the Quant network standard, right? So that's all big stuff. I'm glad that NeoXTrix is also re-referencing this. So why Fabric? Well, it's open source blockchain consortium. JASMY will connect to public-private consortium blockchain through interoperability. Now, on the surface, we know that JASMY, of course, is going to this layer 2 with Optimism, that roll up from Ethereum, that's what Optimism does, right? And we did that previous deep dive. We know that, we had that Web3 cloud solution when it comes to specifically, JASMY with, Polkadot, right? Another thing for scaling and so on. And of course, that's with Polkadot. So we compare those two things. But look at this for a second. NeoXtrix goes into some of the key highlights that you should look more into here. And let me just pull that up for a second as well. It says, plain as day, and I'm sure it's nice and big on the screen for you, that although SG, as in the Smart Guardian, and SKC, which is Secure Knowledge Communicator, are patent pending proprietary technologies, the blockchain tech used in the JASMY Internet of Things platform is a consortium type that utilizes open source. How many times did you see that even with reference with Quant? I'm just saying, and I'll get to that point here in a bit. With the stance of constantly adopting the latest blockchain technology and optimizing as a service, the differentiating elements of the JASMY IoT platform are probably right. The SKC, Smart Knowledge Communicator, and also SG Smart Guardian. President Sato says, quote, in the early days of blockchain, the market was dominated by the idea of differentiating the blockchain engine itself, but as technology development progressed, functional differences have been smaller and interoperability, right, has diminished. And it has become possible to connect different blockchains smoothly. I just want you to think about this. You're already seeing how I'm going to do this, but you have some solid information. And I kind of shared a little bit of it the other day when Will Fix was here, but I want to do a proper outline with you guys tonight. It is no longer so important which blockchain to use, and the key is to create a system that makes it easier to utilize blockchain for specific solutions. This is what I want to achieve the most, for instance, with JASMY. It says as JASMY. That's just an interpretation. But with JASMY, okay? Now, let's jump over to this next screen. So, getting into this, let's share this. Here's the whole thing with Quant. So now let's pull up the icon for Quant. All right. Boom. So on this, sorry, I didn't want to cough into the mic. On this, how many times over the last almost 2 years now, whether it's XRP or QNT and so on, we talk about plugging just that, the DLT, distributed ledger technology, into the existing plumbing. Whether you hold JASMY or QNT, still open your eyes to this. We're all learning. Let's learn a little bit. The plumbing. Let's start off with DLT. You see that this connects, for instance, to even the external DLT platforms such as securities trade. Now, you did hear Larry Fink of BlackRock talk specifically about how we will tokenize, securities. We'll tokenize what? Bonds. Boom, bonds. Have you seen my deep dive where I talk about tokenizing equity? Have you listened to Will Fix when he talks about RWA, right? Real world assets being tokenized. He gave you that example of Lofty. He said, Max, I was able to buy on the Lofty platform, invest like $50 into a particular commercial property. That's not the exact quote, but into a property, and own a sliver of that, right? That's tokenization. Max, can you give me another example about tokenization? Well, there's countless examples. What about what we got right now in regards to BTC? You can't afford a full BTC, so you do what? You buy a sliver into BTC. Most people, that's what they're doing. That's why BTC consistently has that value. It's all those little slivers. But there's people that own the full shebang of BTC, do they not? You should look at some of these examples in the same light. And what I mean by that is when we talk about external DLT-based platforms, the security trade side of things, back to the Will Fix example, right? Will Fix bought $50 worth towards that overall property. How many other people also bought a sliver towards that overall property? You know, you got to keep in mind that. How much money in regards to the tokenization of this contributes to the overall landscape of whatever value of that property is. So let's just say hypothetically that property was worth $500,000. I don't know if that's what it was. Let's just use this example. So Will Fix bought $50 towards a $500,000 home, for instance. Okay. What about people with BTC? They buy a sliver, right? Like $50 towards a what? A 30,000 BTC. Do you see the example of what we're using here? So DLT to even HQ LAX. If you want to get caught up on that, watch some of the deep dives. They're in the recorded video section for a reason. How about DLT2, for instance? Cobalt, Fintium. That's the trade sector. Some people say, well, then that's XDC and so on. Right. Make sure you have some XDC, not financial advice. How about the whole thing of ensuring free flow? Oh, I see what Max is doing. Yeah. It literally says it to you guys. Guys, I'm being honest. It says to you guys in subliminal messages. It's not conspiracy, but when you look more into it, it says it literally plain as day in subliminal messages. Free flow. What has Japan got going on for it? Data, free flow with trust. You ever wonder why they name it that? They name it that because this shows you, for example, how this plugs into the DLT existing plumbing. So with DLT, as in quants over ledger, and we'll get more into that outline, it shows you how you can provide that free flow, or in this case, that data free flow with trust, and how that liquidity can avoid fragmentation also outside of what RTGS as a real-time gross settlements. Opening hours. It says, would it not be better to link AS services to the CLM module and make liquidity management as such as independent from RTGS? Now, if I lost you and this seems Greek to you, I want you to take this away. I got to make that connection even to the newcomers. JASMY has entered into finance democracy, has it not? It has. Now, we could talk about IoT all day long, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's an awesome industry to be in. But we need to get something solid in regards to JASMY with this whole thing of entering into finance democracy. Let's not ignore that. Let's embrace that. Let's talk about that. So, how can you have this whole thing of liquidity management such as independent from the real-time gross settlements? Well, gives you other examples. But this plumbing logic, and I love the idea that Quant Papa highlighted this, says it doesn't make sense to connect your brand new glass fiber cable connection to your house, for example. This is just a layman's example. Into the existing old coax network outside, right? Yeah, why would you do that? That's like counterintuitive. But when we get into this, look what it says here. The risk of fragmentation and complexity of cross-currency interoperability, because we have talked about JASMY when it comes to finance democracy. You do see the references, even in the past, which we just confirmed, the whole thing, Kazumasa Sato, sometimes those names get kind of messed up with Ando, talking about interoperability, talking about, some of these old patents, some of them are pending, some of them are done. Why did they set up all this stuff years ago? Think about it for a second. So you have this breakdown, and let me show you this. I know nothing against Quant Pop. I love them, but some of the pictures are kind of like sometimes a little bit blurry because he takes a picture with his phone or whatever, and it's okay. We do appreciate the content, right? Big up to Quant Papa. But the risk and fragmentation and complexity of cross-currency interoperability. Look at how this is all broke down, what it connects to, and so on. Securities trade, FX trade, for instance, Finium. We talked about it with Quant. Digital assets, DBS digital assets, trade finance, Go, and Contour. Look at the breakdown. Cross-currency interoperability becomes complex. Sounds crazy. But I know it's so hard for you to see this, and maybe I come out of the frame on this one. Yeah, I will come out of the frame on this one. So let me take this off for a second. I want you to see this. I want to see the focus. And even if we don't have a lot of people watch tonight, we'll shot this up later for more people can see us. But what you will see here on the diagram is the Bank of Japan. Well, how do we get the quant connection too? Well, we already have it, but just to kind of pound it home even more, how about the Bank of England? How about the Bank of Canada? So you got Bank of England, Bank of Canada, Bank of Japan. Is the United States part of the mix? Yeah, there is. And when I do another outline in the future, we're going to talk about the digital dollar. I need to really get with that, cover that before other people cover that. And if other people do, it's okay too. Anyway, so the United States sits at the table. How do they sit at the table? Well, you had the Federal Reserve of, I believe, New York, for instance, right? And we talked about in the past how they're working with Project Hamilton, right? We confirmed that a long time ago. I got a lot of criticism about that, and then we found out that it didn't be true. So you have Project Hamilton, MIT, you have the New York Federal Reserve, you have Quant Network, right? And that ended up being like a real thing. But again, guys, Bank of Japan, digital assets, it also connects to what? It connects to all this. Security trade, bonds, equity, right? That's one of your key takeaways. How about how CLM MCA connects to real-time gross settlements, even Target 2. Remember Target 2 with Europe? Now we can talk about your SWIFT system, Target 2 with Europe. How about TIPS? So all of this is all interoperable. Now getting more into this, I want to show you guys this. Let me jump to it. I know I'm out of the screen, but the emphasis is not on my mug. It's on the material. Look what it says here, guys. You see, plain as day, DLT settlement platform. Who are some of the platforms? Well, look what it says. A cross-currency DLT layer for the settlement in central bank money makes sense. You have a distributed model that would enhance settlement efficiency, but integrated interoperable model could work as well. TIPS being connected to, for instance, the Target 2, for instance, real-time gross settlements, kick it on over to CLM MCA. And you even have that picture, and maybe you don't recognize that. That's in regards to a European CBDC, right, with the euro and so on. Look at all these currencies for the DLT settlement platform. Bank of England. So we already know the quant connection with that. Bank of Canada. But the key takeaway for you is the Bank of Japan. Why is Max putting focus on that? Because we already have mentioned for numerous months now, this whole thing of, and I'll come back into the frame, this whole thing of Japanese yen denominated stablecoins. In my opinion, this is proof that with interoperability, with why quant, remember we covered this, guys. I mean, I know there's a lot of newcomers and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, Max. A few months back, we talked about Quant Network. They went to Japan. We confirmed that. There was a video I did. It's on, again, on the old channel, but it talks about QNT, JASMY, XDC. Now, of course, there's not an XDC thing going on with JASMY, but the point was XDC SBI Japan. Who is the big honcho for SBI Japan? Genki Oda. JVCA, Genki Oda. BitPoint, Genki Oda. BitPoint heavily invested into JASMY, Genki Oda. Decision makers, right? But JASMY is entering into finance democracy, are they not? Yes, they are. So can we give examples about how JASMY, for instance, with quant's interoperability on pairings, all right? Because we have talked about pairings. People criticize and say, there has never been an announcement about quant in JASMY. There doesn't need to be an announcement. Just like there's never an official announcement when it comes to quant in JP Morgan. But when you look more into it, you don't even have to confirm the NDAs. You just simply need to take more of the deeper dives. And I provide that for you. That's something I do. But the key takeaway is when you dive more into it, you see like, oh my gosh, there is some connections there. Yes, there's some connections here. I'm just going to go ahead and state this. You see how Quant Network has positioned itself for what? Volume. How is JASMY going to position themselves for volume? The answer has always been Japanese yen denominated stablecoins. So we point out the whole thing of SoftBank. We point out the whole thing with MUFG. We tied in a lot of these things about the local banks of Japan and these pairings and, contributing to Society 5.0 and how, your personal data locker, that particular token, how it ties into, like the DD coin, data democracy coin. And then, that, is represented through, for instance, contributing to the society, get on a bullet train, stuff like that. But there'll be other instances. And if you're lost on this, we talk about, for instance, there's a ban currently, but it will be lifted. Hopefully it gets finally lifted, sometime in 2024. It was supposed to happen this year, but it didn't. But it's for Tether and it's for Circle. And I think with proper regulations, that finally gets lifted. Right. So that means the foreign market, the US market, other markets, and so on. Pairings create volume. Volume creates money. Money creates a lot of things that we should see as far as more money coming into JASMY. Is that such a bad thing? But we are talking about Japan. I think that Quant has positioned themselves to not specifically mention just playing JASMY. They don't need to. The point is, they enable a lot of volume by what they have here with this DLT settlement platform. Now, we're going to jump more into this and why it's so important, because if you have MUFG, you have SoftBank, which is hugely invested into Bajit and JASMY, right? Even Sony. You can see how this triggers, kind of like when you go to an exchange and you see, for instance, Mike Cornwell, let's talk about Elk. So on Elk Finance, you have all these things that create interoperability as far as pairings. Elk combined with XRP, I don't know if that still exists, but like Elk combined with Tether, Elk combined with Doge, pairings, those are the enablers. What about enabling Japan through Japanese yen denominated stablecoins? We've given so many examples about that. You're more than welcome to look more into it for yourself. I think this is a big, big deal. Let's get into why it is such a big deal. So I'm going to give you some examples. Thank you again to Quant Papa. And on this particular one, it is referenced now right here in this month. And it talks about 2023, October 2023, Commerce Bank, ECB, current exploration of what? Wholesale CBDCs. I wish I could make this a little bit bigger, but I can't. It talks about all this exploration, how, it's likely going to take some time for it to go live. Think about to go live. What's the big dates that we're looking for? November 2025. I get criticism about, stop mention dates. They're such nothing burgers. And then, on Will Fix's channel, I might put it on my channel as well. It talks about ISO 222 right from the Swift site, right? And it doesn't say flip with a switch, but what it says, a flow, right? All at once. That's flip of the switch. Okay. Enabling all this liquid assets, if you will, to flow. And again, back to the whole thing of data-free flow with trust, right? But taking time for this to all go live, again, I feel as though November 2025 is the big deal, right? Because that's full implementation. I understand that there's a thing coming up maybe next month, right? And that's worth pointing out. It says private solutions, including those that will function under regulatory approval of the ECB, are ready to go live and serve the needs of the innovative solutions that they're already making in regards to inroads in the market. ECB's policy is already offering the private sector an option to use an AS Procedure D accounts to provide a pre-funded cash on ledger solution. This whole thing about, for instance, the current phase of these trials focuses on 3 technology options. And let's get you to this. So these solutions are a mix of long-term strategic solutions and bridge solutions. Talks about limitations of trigger solutions limited to RTGS, real-time gross settlements, in this particular phase, which is phase 2. I want you to think about this for a second. Phase 2. Why is Max mentioning this? Think about it. Phase 1 would have been what was supposed to happen late 2022 with ISO 222. What did we see get kicked down the road? Right. We saw ISO 222 got live, got delayed to go live in March of 2022. What about this whole thing of more of the implementation in November? Right. Is November the phase 2? I think it is, because it's more of, it's just saying, hey, guys, we're live and we're testing. Now it's more of, we're live and we are going to implement some of this stuff. So that checks out. It talks about, for instance, the function of supervision by central banks and relevant regulatory authorities. I want to talk about that for a second. So with the Bank of International Settlements, you have supervision by who? Banque de France. They're the oversight. All right. Who is the oversight in regards to Japan? Right. Well, the oversight for Japan technically would be your Genki Odas, right? Because he's part of SBI Japan. And he's also a policy / decision maker for regulation for the FSA and the JVCEA. But this whole notion that when people say, JASMY scam, no, they're already regulatory compliant. They're the first. Did you make that connection? Getting more into this, we will confirm some more things that, like it says here, I know it's tiny, this whole thing will provide interoperability across other currency regimes, unlike existing real-time gross settlements. Think about that for a second. Interoperability through this new thing. What is that new thing? Well, it's the Quants Overledger. Overledger in itself enables these bridges, if you will, enables yen-denominated stablecoins and the pairings and the whole JASMY thing. It's not just, for example, JASMY. Obviously, we know there's other ones out there, but that really does help JASMY, does it not? Pairings create volume. Volume, just as the saying goes, more people buying one thing makes value. You know what I mean? Like if I'm at a grocery store and I have only one product, right? I only make it available to one person that comes and buys it. No, that's ridiculous. What if there was products at the grocery store? They're like, well, we don't, on this product, we don't accept cash, but we only accept, I don't know, let's just call it like Diners Club. You can only buy this 2-liter thing of soda with Diners Club. That means only people that have Diners Club can buy that. That would be ridiculous, right? Right. So we need to have cash or currency enablers to buy more things. Again, that's just an example. So do we have that here? Yes, we have that here. So it goes on to mention this whole thing of a monetary stability as provided by the central banks, right? There has to be some kind of stable value in regards to that. Japan doesn't want to get involved in this at all. They made it clear because it can't be volatile. Also, how about the whole thing with FTX? I know I'm kind of bouncing around, but Japan made their people whole in regards to FTX. Did the United States do that? No, they didn't. How about this for a second? Provide settlement asset to a new emerging tokenized solutions. Again, think about the whole thing with Overledger. Provide payment option to serve the needs of corporate clients via commercial banks and FMIs to their new technology use cases. Talks about ECB's policy limits to use DVP settlement. What are some of the main benefits of a wholesale CBDC in cross currency and how that will be enabled? How there will be initiative focused on a single currency at the moment. What about Japan? What about some of those single currency? Well, yen. Yeah, yen. Okay. But what about yen with the pairings? And we have seen those confirmed pairings. So are we too far off with that? Interoperability solutions in envision trial design. Look at this for a second. Talks about, for instance, the bank accounts. Talks about, for instance, target twos. I'm not going to get into all that, but it gives examples, if you look more into it, about how a bank A wallet goes to bank B wallet. Think about the JASMY super wallet. This bottom part, practical implications for the treasury. and I will read most of this. This is good stuff. And thank you to Quant Papa for this. It says we need to avoid fragmentation of liquidity and allow for a netting effect in the structure of the infrastructure in an environment where we expect multiple blockchain platforms to emerge for various business needs. Do we not see JASMY emerging, right, with this layer 2? We definitely see that. Don't look at it from the perspective of only IoT. They're positioning themselves also for finance. What about that friction? Louis Jackson is always talking about things need to be frictionless. Friction between monetary policy, applied value, and limiting opening hours for real-time gross settlements services demand 24/7 processing. Right, can't be Monday through Friday anymore. The bank system is dead. Value date differences and no ability to fund or provide working capital solutions. Use pre-funded buffers which need to be held overnight. What if the required pre-funding exceeds minimum reserve holdings? Right, we got to have scalability. Talks about this whole thing about, for instance, is this gonna fix the whole thing of to have a central place for pools of liquidity to cross various channels? I want you to think about this and how we have free flow liquidity across 24/7 enabled services. Again, this might seem Greek to you, but the whole point is data free flow with trust. Why did myself, IC Amphibian, Dip Metaverse, the whole JASMY army of research enthusiasts, if you will, talk about data free flow with trust so much? Why is, Tara Kono going all over the world to preach and share the research of DFFT so much? And why is the United States copying the template of DFFT for our regulatory framework? Come on, guys. Pay attention to this stuff, because if you know what you have and you know why you hold it, then it paints the picture of, okay, I can see the outcome of this. I can kind of get it now. I know some of the stuff is a little Greek. This last part, separate DCA might not be the best choice here with the current T2 setup, but you can understand how you have the increase of direct participation, corresponding banks, and a demand for 24/7 real-time reality or real-time, reality, and how that will kick in to require more liquidity as netting effect will decrease as fragmentation will increase with more direct participation. Right. Yen denominated stablecoins. So, not just SoftBank, some other banks in Japan. And this is not even just Japan. But of course, we put focus on that because of JASMY. I'm talking about the DLT enablers. Overledger is really going to shine this department. They recognize that Japan ranks number 3 in the world when it comes to GDP power rankings, right behind China and right behind the United States. Now, let me show you some more examples about this. So on this one, we have these examples. Here's figure 4, synchronization model. How is this all broken down? Well, it may seem kind of Greek, but this is plain as day. How do you have an asset ledger send things, for instance, over to an operator, or how operators sends it to end users? I mean, it's not that hard. Bank A, real-time gross settlements, kicks it down to Bank B. Literally looking at it from the case of, can we have money flow of, SBI Japan? Can we have money flow of SoftBank to MUFG? Yes. How's it going to be done? Real-time gross settlements. How's that all work with DLT? We already gave you the example on the previous slide. How's that going to go to end users? Again, it's not that hard, but you see the breakdown. Getting more into this to make it more in layman's terms, just in case we did lose you. Were you aware that back during 2018, the bank, for instance, that was engaged with financial institutions, infrastructures, trade bodies, policymakers, and fintech firms on securitization, the feedback received suggested that there could be demand and use cases for functionality over the lifetime of the renewed real-time gross settlement service. These use cases would include, and here's some examples, Housing transactions. The combination of new technology and access to the real-time gross settlements via synchronization has a potential to make the payment, land registration. This is when we're talking about RWAs, real world assets, right? And stamp duty process involved in house purchase quicker and more efficient. Again, back to the whole thing what Will Fix was talking about with Lofty, right? House movers can find moving day a particular challenge, with parties often having to wait until the late afternoon for confirmation of funds have been received. It is argued that these delays can cost consumers millions in additional fees to removal firms. Who's been talking about this for a year and a half or more, or almost 2 years? This is ISO 222. And why that's so big? Because, again, when you have circumstances of parties having to wait until late in the afternoon for confirmation that funds have received, we can even apply that to the banks. We do apply that to the banks. You know, the guy in Greece, you know, the Bank of Greece sending cross-border payments to the Bank of South Korea, or how about obviously to Japan? Different language, right? Compared to Greece. You have to have ISO 222 because it helps the banks simply like realize, hey, this is a garbled up message. We need to be able to have something that's much more sufficient than Swift. We understand Swift is upgrading, right? Okay, so again, the old Swift has to be an upgrade. Boom, ISO 222, that new upgrade. Now, I'm not saying that JASMY is ISO 222 compliant, but again, are you missing the point here? The point is Quant's Overledger with ISO TC 307 becomes that enabler by making that interoperability for those banks. And we saw in the diagram for the Japanese yen. And it even references what? The Bank of Japan. How about corporate transactions, right? Well, you have corporate transactions that can involve significant coordination efforts and funds that be required to be positioned days in advance. Synchronization might offer parties a reduction in some of the manual effort and liquidity costs involved, as well as reducing the risk profile of these transactions. Now, this last part, because we talk about Quant and also JASMY, how about cross-border payments? How does JASMY, for instance, jump into this, which sounds nuts. I mean, I think for most people, they're just like, you got to be kidding me. JASMY for cross-border payments? Give me a break. I'm going to go with like Ripple and so on. But it says here, a domestic payment. Think about this for a second, because JASMY is focusing on those domestic banks. Do you see how I did that? And how it could be executed in real time. But a cross-border transaction could take 2 or 3 days and cost an average 10 times more than a domestic payment, right? So how do we have a solution? There could be scope working with other national RTGS services. Oh, so we work with Quant's Overledger. And Quant's Overledger works with the Bank of England. And the Bank of England now has interoperability with who? The Bank of Japan. Oh my God, Max, how did you figure that out? I've studied. I look into some of this stuff. It doesn't have to say Quant and JASMY direct partnership. My God, guys, I'm just telling you, that's no disrespect to our family of watchers and so on. All you got to do is make the connections. That's why I was giving you a diagram of seeing how this is connected to this, that's connected to that. This enables this to have interoperability with that. That's all it is. Don't overthink it. Now, look what it says. I'll read it again. A domestic payment can be executed in real time, but a cross-border transaction could take 2 to 3 days and cost an average of 10 times more than domestic payment. There could be scope working with other national RTGS services to improve their bank cross-border payments by using synchronization to achieve simultaneous settlement across currencies. Hence the yen, the digital euro, digital pound, all interoperable through what? The freaking Overledger. A little bit more about this. All right. I know this is good. For those who are staying up and watching this, hats off to you guys. Like, I'll chop this up. And obviously, we'll reach a broader base. Look at this. Shout out to Quant Pop again. He probably didn't even realize I tied in the whole thing with JASMY, but that's okay. Synchronization linking real-time gross settlements to other ledgers. Okay, now I see where Max is going with this. Right. Consultation questions. Consultation. What's JASMY also providing nowadays? Consultation what? Services. Do you see all the subliminal messages given? Now, some people don't like that. I don't like it when Hara does that. Call it what you want. I'm trying to provide you information to confirm things. We propose to create a generic interface into RTGS, which would allow a wider range of ledgers to connect to real-time gross settlements to synchronize transactions. A little bit more about this. I know it's a lot, but we'll wrap it up here soon. And again, you got to give, when you guys see Quant Papa in the comments, always give him love and respect, because you know what? He does this all for free, and he's just a proponent. He wants to help educate people about this just as much as I do. And he's just an awesome guy. I love that guy. How about this? Flexible and innovative services for our users. Real-time gross settlements already provide settlement services for a variety of payment systems. Platforms like Crest, CLS, Benefit. Remember at the very beginning of the slide, we showed CLS. I don't know if you guys were wondering about that. But those benefit from close integration with real-time gross settlements to eliminate risk for securities and FX transactions. FX transactions. What about when we have some of the FX unbanned? Oh, I know where you're going with that, Max. Yes, Tether, Circle. So when they come back in the mix, this allows that to be those risks to be eliminated for those that would be considered foreign, right? And it literally mentions by name foreign stable coins, as in Tether and Circle, USDT, USDC. However, it says there are multiple areas where we are looking to broaden our service provision, and here's the key highlights. Boom, boil it, mash it, stick in the stew. We see potential in closer integration between real-time gross summits and other ledgers. This could mean linking RTGS with new digital asset platforms. This can involve closer links to RTGS systems and or in other currencies. Again, guys, the yen to transmit cross-border payments or support smooth liquidity management. We propose developing a new synchronization interface to enable this. And it says the new settlement engine will already have no technical barriers to operating on a near 24/7 basis in the future. Quant doesn't have those technical barriers at all. We already share that numerous times. Blockchain agnostic, connects to literally anything. Based on your feedback, the bank will work with the industry to consider when and how to extend the operating hours of RTGS. Do we not see that already happening before our eyes? Do we not see, for instance, excuse me, do we not see how Gilbert Verdian is going to this, was it London blockchain conference? Who is he sharing the table with? Right? The head honcho of R3. Remember I talked about it? What about the Bank of England? Right. We talked about some of these things. So there's that. So they got this whole thing of proposing a new service and how it's going to expand the range of ways to generate intraday liquidity. All right. Before we wrap it up, here's the final one. States plain as day. Foundations for the future. Our ambitions do not stop here. Good. I'm glad they don't, right? We will utilize the modular and flexible design to deliver the third phase of benefits by renewing the real-time gross settlements. At the heart of the RTGS is the ability to support safe and efficient settlement in central bank money. Who is settling central bank money as we speak? Who is tokenizing CBDCs as we speak? Quant Network. How do we confirm that, Max? We have confirmed it on enough videos, my friend, right? Talking about this whole thing of Bank of International Settlements, Bank of England. What about the whole thing with LACchain, right? CBDCs for Latin America. But at the heart of the RTGS is the ability to support safe and efficient settlement in central bank money. Our vision is also encapsulates RTGS acting as an open platform for change and innovation. What's an open, seamless, and also future-proof platform? Quant's overledger. Following the feedback of the 2022 consultation on the future roadmap for RTGS, we are prioritizing work to assess several innovative features. Top of the list are new ways to connect RTGS, a synchronization interface to connect RTGS with other ledgers, and extended RTGS operating hours. If implemented, they will achieve even higher degrees of resilience and facilitate industry's innovation and competition. They will be key to helping us deliver wholesale enhanced digital money. Now, in closing about this, I want you to think about this for a second. We know with the traditional banking system that basically speaking, you do have those hours, the Monday through Fridays, and typically speaking from 9 a.m. to 5. Some banks, I've seen in the past, like Wells Fargo, they don't do it anymore at my local grocery store, but it used to close at 7 o'clock. But typically speaking, it's 9 to 5. Now, one thing that's beautiful about crypto, as we know, is it's on 24/7. Is the stock market on 24/7? No, it is not, right? So you see the shift towards this new system, even shown in these examples that Quant Papa, right? Big up to Quant Papa, that we provided you tonight. Right. Crypto, beautiful thing about it is on 24/7. So now you even see how we tie that in. 24/7 systems create constant money flows. So with that said, let me know what you guys think in regards to this. I think this is huge, not only for Quant, but now it kind of confirms and solidifies why I believe, and it's just my opinion, right? Some people say I'm wrong, and it's okay. But for me, this confirms my opinion because we also tie in what Quant Papa shared in regards to why Quant Network put their stamp or their stake into Japan. I'm big up on Quant. I'm big up on JASMY. And with that said, guys, I can't thank you guys enough. I think all this is worth paying attention to. And I will continue to cover the likes of Quant and JASMY and see how this is all interoperable and who's talking to who or what system's talking to what and why we should pay attention to that. There's a lot of FUD when it comes to JASMY. It's what comes with the territory. But you know what? Even Quant gets a lot of FUD too. Don't get fudded out of your future generational wealth. I'm rooting for you to make it just as much as myself or anybody else. Quant Papa is rooting for you too. We have a lot of conversations, direct messages and so on. All we want to do is help educate people about some of this stuff. It's part of our passion. And is that such a bad thing? I don't think it is. So with that said, that's going to conclude our coverage tonight in regards to all of this. JASMY and Quant, once again. Anyway, please smash a like if you appreciate the content. Make sure you sub and hit that bell notification. If you enjoy a live show, we have shows every day of the week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific here at Maximus Crypto, and even dual streamed over at Will Fix. Give him a follow as well over at his station channel. It's just called Will Space Fix. He covers XRP quite a bit, but he's also starting to cover other things, QNT, Stellar, some of the other things. He's a big proponent of JASMY. But there it is, guys. Thank you so much and appreciate you. All right, let's get back into the comments. Whoever is here left, I do appreciate you guys watching that. You guys got to keep in mind, I do these things because then I could chop it up later and then get out to a broader base. But we're approaching the 3-hour mark, so we're going to read the last bit of comments. Actually, I think we might have some community-driven news for you guys. I think I got some tags from the one and only Elon Musk, so I'll go a little bit longer. It's Friday, right? So I guess we're not wrapping it up too soon. All right, so let's go further down. Let's turn on this fan. It's starting to get a little warm in here. All right. So let's see here. At 7:20, man, that was a long time ago. I'm 2 hours behind, so I got to go further down. Tim Shea, Max, if Will has questions mining Caspa, having him ask CryptoJ in 2Bits community. Max, if Will has questions mining Caspa, have. Okay. I'll remember it. CryptoJ. All right, thanks, Tim. Appreciate you, buddy. All right. I did already read that. That was a while ago. Okay, let's see if you guys got anything specific. I'm so far behind. When I see comments from 7:34, I'm like, oh my God. All right, Cool Cat Crypto. He states, nothing could pry my BSV out of my hands. All right. Koi Bibe, aka Jasmine the Scam. Nice breakdown, BSV, Max. Much appreciated. You're very welcome. Thank you. Hello, is it glitching the matrix we're looking for? Lionel Richie, I've said that in a while. Cooking beef liver tacos. Man, I was never a fan of like liver and onions, but hey, you know, we all had different palates, right? Different taste buds. Yeah, it just there's three things that give me like instant gag reflex. It's boiled oysters, like an oyster stew. Ugh. Like I can eat oyster stew, but not the oysters. I do like oysters, but they have to be fried. I know I'm weird like that. So it's oysters, liver, and black licorice. Ugh, black licorice. Disgusting. Those are the three things that just make me instantly hurl. Sorry. Not that you needed to know that, right? Anyway. Snowy Alpine, aka Sobo. I don't know if you're still watching tonight. And I love you, Sobo. You rock. Fascinating stuff, Max. Thank you. You're very welcome. You know, you're probably gone by now because, you know, it's 12:07 at night. And who watches this guy, Filipino Ice Cube, this late? Yeah, you're very, very welcome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Good night. It says glitching the matrix. Corey Bibe. I added QNT. Jasmy not the scam. And XLM today. I'm just packing my moon bags. Nice. All right, let's read this. The one and only Nas is up there, but always love Wu-Tang. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I don't have my necklace on today, but if you ever see my necklace, I'll have to show it to you next time. I'll remember you and I'll show you my necklace. It's a Wu-Tang necklace. I've had it since I was like 15. All right, it's kind of cool. Oh no, no. Oh, I'll have to check on the score later. No, I want the D-backs to win anyway. But Gingers have no soul, Max. Jeez. I know, but it's a funny avatar. Anyway, I thought Grizzly Bear Matrix. He was like, I gotta stay up, man. Anyway, I'm sorry, Sunday came. Interesting. All right, April Cornwell. Hey, April Cornwell. That was a while ago, Max. I know. Did you watch the GameStop movie? Dumb Money XRP movie would be next. I didn't read that. I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out. Dumb Money. Cool. What the heck, April? What the heck? Oh, yeah, because you guys are talking about Boomer F and Sooners talk about. Boomer, are you still here tonight? Are you still here tonight? Or you already moved on? You probably moved on. All right. Now, this makes me wonder where you're from. So I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, and Taco Time is where it's at, man. I miss Taco Time. I wish we had Taco Times here in Phoenix. Taco Time is the bomb, man. I love Taco Time. Their logo is a big old cactus, like a saguaro cactus. Me and my mom and my dad used to go there back in the day. We get one of their Mexicali meals, man. That was good stuff. I love Taco Time. I agree. Taco Time is where it's at. Yeah, Taco Bell is just, I go there once in a while, but I like certain things on their menu, right? Like the rolled chicken tacos are nice and crispy. They're good. All right. All right, Calvin, welcome back, man. In general, crypto's better off now than a year ago. Man, I gotta go further down. That's all there is. Like, I am so far behind the comments. Well, you do it to yourself, Max. You know, you keep on, you don't even talk about crypto sometimes. Instead, what you'll do is, you know, you'll do impersonations of this guy. You know, and I do that. But you know what? It's okay. I gotta have some fun too, you know. All right, so let's go further down. Let's see, you got any comments? You do. It used to be Cream, aka Cash rules everything around me. Green get the money, but now it's crypto, y'all. Yeah, that's true. Here's River. Welcome to River. Good to see you. When XTC goes crazy, hang on to your poo-poo. Jeez. You guys love talking about poo tonight, don't you? Taco Bell, future unfortunate on-demand liquidity. You know, taking a number 3. You know, we don't want to take a number 3. Number 3 is bad. Okay. Shout out to April Cornwell, right? She pointed that out with the mud butt. You know, you don't want a number 3. No number 3s tonight, you guys. All right, can we all agree on that? If you're here tonight, type in number 3 into the comments. It helps the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's read this from Michael Montclair. I would be loading up on QNT on larger blue chips. But if you eat too many actual Doritos blue chips, it might combat number 3 because it gives you a little bit of fiber. That sounds bad. But yes, I would definitely do that too. Good to see you, Mr. Michael Montclair. Shout to you in the wonderful Zara. That's an awesome avatar. I love it. You guys look great. All right, let's see. Any BSV is better than none. I love how you state that, because I mean, it's not about like you got to go out and buy $10,000 worth of BSV, right? You're just looking at like, hey man, don't dismiss it. Crypto info DYOR XTC is the silent killer. Again, what the poo references and the farting and stuff, guys? Yeah, silent killers, mud butt, right? Taco Bell. XTC is that silent killer chilling in the corner. Watch out. Guys, give crypto info _ DYOR a follow. For real, give him a follow. All right. Michael Montclair finally got some LCX. That's cool. I think it's pretty cheap right now. Hulk is on. That's why we tanked. Talking about oil tankers right now. Jeez. I got all the info about oil tankers. Nobody else has this. I got all the 40 weight. That's why I gotta have a Lumen's cough drop, because people never mind. I shouldn't even make fun of them. Stop defending him, Max. He'll never defend you. He'd probably call you a glorified, you know what? That's true. That's true. But he is a good researcher. As long as he doesn't focus on his ego, right? Anyway. Stop defending him. All right. Anyway, 13 years ago, BTC was 10 cents. That means it's up 20 million %. You got to literally say that as like Dr. Evil when you do that. Max, you did great. Finally got the feedback. Okay, cool. I'm not saying that you finally gave me feedback, but I finally got around to reading this. Thanks, Cool Cat. The way I look at it, I respect you, Cool Cat. We don't agree on everything, but I consider you a friend. You're part of our community. And apparently you do like our community. You like some of the research, at least, right? If you didn't, you wouldn't bother coming over to Maximus Crypto. You wouldn't be like, yeah, man, blankety blank network all the way. I'm going to stick with the guy that wears the PSV hat, right? Shh, please. I love watching leg. I love watching this guy leg and looking like an old kung fu movie with the, you think I open a Chinese restaurant in the middle of the hood and don't know what's going on? I freaking represent. What movie or what album is that from? If you know your hip hop, you know what album that's from. All right, Tia says, yay, Jasmy. All right, thank you, Tia. I'm going to go further down because I just really need to catch up. It's 9:14. I'm so far behind in the comments. Yeah, Max, that's why we don't drop you super chats, because you will take 2 hours to read it. What's the point? That's a good point, too. I can't blame you for that. Some people did earlier, and it's not about that. All right, Corey Bebe, that would be amazing, in my opinion. XLM is a sleeping giant. XLM going to blow up, too. So can I ask you this, Cool Cat, if you're still watching? Like, I actually do want your opinion. I'm sure you're paying attention to Sorbonne. Like, am I too far off on the Sorbonne thing? Because the way I look at it is, come on, man. What project, especially like Luna Classic, I'm not flooding my Luna Classic. I'm still rooting for it. But Luna Classic would kill, absolutely kill, to have 70+ projects within a flip of a switch to go, boom, live, Sorbonne, right? That's why it's like, why aren't we paying more attention to Sorbonne? We are. The only guy I really see covering like Sorbonne is Rich, maybe a couple other guys, but there's not enough talk about it. I mean, to me, it's a huge deal that not enough people are talking about, right, Corey? Not enough people are talking about Sorbonne. Why is that? All right, Michael Henderson, what's up? What's happening, family? New here. Speaking of tokenization of real estate, how does anyone feel about Rencom RNT coin? I'm a strong believer in XRP and XL, and we covered it a little bit, but I gotta get more into it. I'm glad that you are big on both of those. Welcome. All right, Corey Bebe. Is anyone familiar with Gnosis? Max supply is 3 million. Circulating supply is 2.5 million. Not a scam. True. I don't know. I have covered Gnosis like a year ago. I know about the whole thing with Luna Classic and that, but I need to look more into it. I think maybe Tim Shea is into that. All right, let's see here. Dwayne Diesel, who's currently using Jasmy? What company, government, or institution? Oh God. Geez. So let's see. There's WITS. There's you got the whole thing Care Project. You got the whole thing of, oh my gosh, where does it end with this? You got SBI Japan. You got BitPoint. God, Avita, Vio. What else you got? You got Transcosmos. I could go on and on about this. Anyway. Sony, right? Panasonic. We forgot about Panasonic, did we not? I think even Toshiba. I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff. A partner does not mean they are using it. Is Sony a partner? Because, hey, listen, just watch some of the videos. No offense, all right? We would like to welcome you, first of all. The main thing is this. Just watch some of the content. You know how many people will look at my thumbnail and they'll be like, this guy's full of crap. I'm not watching it. Scam. Jasmy scam. Just watch some of the content. I connect the dots for you on a lot of things. And yes, partners does not necessarily mean that you're using it. But when you look more into it, you do get use cases of where you do see some of the ones that they are using it because it requires a personal data locker. How, you wanted the example about the local government? Here's a perfect example of the local government. Basically speaking, when it comes to the pairings. So, for instance, the DD coin, I don't know if you ever look more into that pairing with Jasmy. And basically, let's say you're going to board like a bullet train or a bus or whatever, right? It accesses your personal data locker, so it doesn't, you don't want your data to just freely go out like how it is currently here in the United States. Recognizes that, rewards you for that. But then on your transaction of whatever it was for the bullet train and so on, so much of that is paired with the DD coin, and it contributes to, for instance, how you board to the bullet train or the bus and so on. So it's kind of like obviously like taxes and so on. So much taxes goes to help pay for things. Well, they have this thing in Japan to contribute towards the local economies. It doesn't just end there with the DD coin. We have ties of SoftBank with Jasmy, okay? And then SoftBank using, Japanese yen denominated stable coins, pairing with Jasmy's, with the actual native token. And it's just a constant flow of utility in motion over and over. You just owe it to yourself to look more into it. Do you choose to look more into it, though? You know what I mean? That's the main question. Some people don't. Some people don't want to spend the time to do that. All right, so let's go further down. Elon Musk, Jasmy all-time market cap would put Jasmy at 3 cents with the supply, 7 cents-ish with a 70% lockup. Nice. Thank you for the intel. All right. Chef Crypto, welcome. How many XRP are in y'all's bags? I mean, it just depends on who you're asking. I guess, some people want to share that. Some people don't. We in here, Max. Thank you. All right. Let's read this from Stargazer. My XRP bags are so heavy, I can hardly lift them anymore. Jasmy bags getting that way too. That's cool. The more you listen, hold on, Stargazer, the more I listen to Max, the heavier my bags get. Oh, jeez. Not financial advice, all right? No, I get it, though. Thank you, though. That's a nice compliment. Liquidity crisis in BSV could send the coin straight to 1,200 per sources. That, again, supply and demand. When you get it, that's a great point. And I apologize. I probably didn't do a good job explaining that part because I just didn't think about it at the moment. That's a great point. Here's why that's a great point. I'm not rooting for a dollar crash, but in reality, it's like for a lot of people, they realize like, well, that creates more supply and demand for, the assets that we hold. But consistently what gets brought up is a dollar crash creates more demand for Bitcoin because Bitcoin is freedom. If BSV is the original Bitcoin, like we referenced at the beginning of the outline tonight, then yeah, is Mr. Elon Musk, Mike Cornwell, too far off with this? I don't think so. It creates that much more demand for things like this. And then if BSV people realize that's the real Bitcoin, and that one has great utility, which it does, whether you're a fan of it or not, 100,000 TPS, and it can move faster than Visa and all that stuff. And it has the tokenomics of basically, BTC. Is Mike Cornwell too far off with this? I don't think so. All right. Love your BSV coverage. More of that, please. Thanks. Yeah, you know what? We'll see how this is received. It might be a case where it's kind of like quant. Sometimes I get frustrated, and then I realize, well, it's also a bear market. I was kind of sharing some of my frustration one night with Mr. Cornwell. I was just like, man, I don't get that, man. Like, some of these guys just recently covered quant, and 5,600 views or something like that. And I'll cover it, and it's like only like 100, like 100 views or something like that. And he's just like, well, it's because you got a new channel, man. People don't know who you are, and some of these guys have had the channel for a couple of years. I'm like, yeah, that's true. If I could just have my own channel consistently covering it, grinding away, I'd probably be up to like, on the math, I have this up. It's like 28,000 subs. That's not the point. The point is to cover what you truly believe in, whether you get the views or not. And I do that. I want to share you something. This is just something in which I feel as though like I was proud about this, and I was glad that people will recognize it. And it's also because it's the market is changing. Oh man, we're almost up to 2,000 subs. I'll have to give you guys an update here in a second. So I put out this video yesterday. Quant Network, 100K to 1 million per QNT is inevitable. You guys know my stance. I feel as though a minimum of QNT at the height of the next bull market is like 10K minimum. I think on the high end could be 100K. That's just my own personal belief. People think I'm crazy and hopium. Hey, call whatever you want. I'm a content creator, and a lot of times people feel that content creators can't have freedom of thought. I'm going to have my freedom of thought. I'm going to share my freedom of thought. You know what I mean? So I don't care if people think I'm nuts or not, but I do at least try to back it up with some solid research, and I think people do respect that. But anyway, yeah, I only had like a couple hundred views, and it's like, man, you try to pour that passion into it and so on. So that one is now up to 1,200 views, and I am proud about that one, and I think people like Quant Pop. 114 likes, no dislikes. I like that. I got the plugin for the dislikes. I'm not part of that cancel culture woke bullcrap. Oh, we turn off all the dislikes because we don't want to offend anybody. I need that feedback. I need to see how many people dislike it. Like, is that such a bad thing? All right, so here's how we did. Now it's up to 1,300, 209 hours of watch time. That's 129 hours more than usual, and plus 18. Will Fix come out with a video and get like 300 subscribers, which is awesome. Shout out to him. But for me, this is not bad, and in due time, more people will find out more about it. And so this was encouraging, Mike. When I was telling you on the phone, I was like, oh man, But I was just like, one thing I'm gonna keep covering. I'm gonna keep covering quant, whether it gets 100 views or 10,000 views. But it was nice. It made me feel good to see that people appreciate it. And I saw some people in the comments. They're like, who's it? This guy's name is I think his name is Channing, King Channing. He said, shout out to him if he's watching at some point. He was like, hey, bro. He was watching last night. And he was just like, said in the recorded comments, he's like, don't ever think that people don't appreciate your content and don't watch or just dismiss the thumbnail. He's like, I watch your video sometimes 3 times over to get it down. And I'm like, holy crap, if I'm making that kind of impact, that makes me feel good, because at the end of the day, I do this for a reason. I enjoy creating content and providing research, but it was a feel-good moment. All right, so here's how we doing. Let's see how we doing. Oh my gosh, guys, we just need 7 more people to have 2,000 subs. So maybe I think we get there maybe in a few hours or something like that. Maybe not on the live broadcast, but that's cool. That's super cool. All right. Let me remove this for a second. But yeah, thank you, Henrik Larson. Guys, let's give Henrik Larson a warm welcome. I appreciate that you like the BSV coverage. All right, let's see further down. We have Edward Vincent, Max. Thank you. Great content. Thank you, guys. Corey Bibe, aka Jasmine Not the Scam. Why do you always say AKA? Well, that's who you are. We're going to get merch at some point. It's going to have a guy referred to as Corey Bibe, and he's going to have a weird face, and then it's going to be like, Japanese guys, and he's going to be like, Jasmine Not the Scam. And it's going to say Corey Bibe. Maybe you're not cool with that. I don't know. Anyways, it's just funny stuff. Thank you, Corey. You're very welcome, Stargazer. My mud butt. My God. Patrick Colley. Day 5 fast. There's no poop left in me. That's funny. Our taco time turned into a crappy Chinese food joint. You know what? I won't be able to get tonight. I wanted to get it tonight, but I went extended. I was going to get some Chinese food earlier. So there's this place. It's called Szechuan Cuisine. It's in Glendale, right? Because I live in Northwest Phoenix, but my address is Glendale. That place is a hole-in-the-wall place, but man, I always go back there because they have way better Chinese food than all the other places. All right, here's a report from Cool Cat. He says, Max Swarbaum seems legit. Yep, I'm glad to see you're on board with that. That's cool. Let's welcome back Moonbird. Looking good, looking fit, keeping healthy. I got to get my mindset to make that happen. I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, man, the way I killed it in college, he's like, yeah, bro, that's all you got to do. You got to get that mindset. Apply that mindset for, nutrition and stuff like that, and you'll be fine. I got to get there, and I just got to get my mind to that. But shout out to you for having your mindset on that. So Moonbird, welcome back. Looking fit, looking great. He says, I choose XLM instead of candy. Way more satisfied. That's a great way of looking at it. Instead of wasting money on candy, you could buy a Stellar for candy. I mean, it's like, God, guys, it's like, what, 10, 11 cents? Something like that. That's a great way of looking at it. Thank you for sharing that, Moonbird. Good to see you again. Hopefully you're having a great Friday night. D-backs came back. Yes! I'm going to have to watch the replay. Yes, we are tied at 2-2, baby. I am going to maybe have to watch game 5. Yes. Crypto info, DYOR, Max spitting facts, 100%. Do your own research, folks. Thanks to the other DYOR. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Crypto info, DYOR. Series tied up. Awesome. That is so cool. All right. Number 3, Mudbutt Casserole. That is so bad. Oh, God. I want to hurl, right? Why am I always late? I think my YouTube is slow. Hey, at least you came, right? That's the main thing. That's when Elon Musk will say, well, that's what she said. That's so bad. Sorry. I apologize. All right. Elon Musk, let's do it. 7 more subs. Thank you. That'd be cool. If you're watching and not sub, please go sub. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Michael Cornwall, aka Elon Musk. Are you back? Are you actually in are you in Arkansas, or did you come back to Atlanta? I'll give you a call later anyway. Corey Bibe, I missed your call earlier again. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I was passed out, man. I was like in a coma. Sleep apnea. It's killing me lately, man. I'm just going to be honest. I know it sounds bad, but it's just killing me. All right. I hear you, Max. I keep stacking. Awesome. Hit that like if you have it. Yes, thank you, guys. Well, let's see here. You're here home. Oh, okay, cool. So it wasn't that long of a drive. All right. I think we have some community news for you guys before we wrap up everything. I know some of you guys are like, geez, Max, how can you do that? So that coverage you have about the JASMY token, I'll probably say that for another day, Mike, but I'll go ahead and retweet it. Sorry, I'm kind of turning the Hulk right now. All right, let's see here. That's cool. This guy liked my coverage. All right, so Lewis Jackson follows me? It's not the real Lewis Jackson. I was so excited. I was like, yes, Lewis Jackson's finally following. And it's not the real Lewis Jackson. It's the fake Toshi Lewis Jackson, who is crypto Lue. Dang it. Is Edward Vincent would say is dang it. Now, I want to state this, all right? Maybe you guys do this. Every now and then, you got to be careful when you go to Twitter, right? So if you see a nice, sexy lady like this, if you click on it, it might very well take you to some prawn. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. So I always try to be careful about that. Nonsense, Max. You click on it all the time. Well, here's the thing. No, all right. But I want you guys to be careful about it, and especially if you're watching the show and you're trying to share stuff, because if it comes across the screen on YouTube, our channel gets shut down for at least a couple days, and then it sucks. All right, yeah, like these, Isabella. It's like I already know that's going to open up. This other, this lady, like that is, yeah, that's gonna like these people are all connected to to the prawn. I could say the real thing because All right, so RWA tokenization. I'm gonna go ahead and retweet that. Let me see if we have anything specific that we can get into for a second. What is this? Market crash. Okay, I'll retweet that. There's gonna be some I get into, Mike, and some I don't. All right, this one is one I wanted to share earlier, so I will share this with you guys. Let's share this from the one and only Elon Musk, Mike Cornwall. Thank you to sideline reporter Mr. Elon Musk. If you too would like to be a sideline reporter, you can go ahead and follow me over at DPG Maximus. It is absolutely free and it doesn't cost you anything. All right, now let's go ahead and share this from the one and only Mr. Elon Musk. And here it is. Crossroads. What is this? All right, smash that like. Here we go.
$1 of my own money to prepare for what's coming on November 1st. I do want to be clear. This is a crossroads moment. You either prepare to become one of the new rich in America, or you're going to slide into becoming one of the new poor. This is your one chance to get in on what may be the biggest crypto event of the decade, because for the first time, cryptocurrencies were rapidly getting adopted in a unique way.
So while they're pushing socialism on millions of Americans quietly, they're making one of the biggest investments in cryptocurrency we've ever seen.
Yes. You see, they know this is the only solution everyday folks have left to escape financial corruption. PayPal is launching their own crypto stablecoin to their 430 million active users. Look, the list goes on. The point is, trillions of dollars will soon flood into the crypto market in an absolute frenzy. John, people forget that crypto went from nothing to $1.1 trillion as an asset class with zero institutional support.
Wow.
Zero. What do you think will happen now the world's deepest pockets are pumping money in?
Yeah.
Now, start connecting the dots with the world's biggest institutions worth over 25 trillion, all investing into crypto, which is still only worth 1.1 trillion in its entirety. This is going to be like a dam breaking, John. It's going to make global news.
I did use that example of like the dam breaking, the flows, and I said all at once. That's right from the Swift site. And just in case you didn't watch yesterday's show, what is Max talking about here? I probably will make like a research thing posted on Twitter. This is straight from Swift. Look what it says. Straight from Swift, you guys. I know I'm out of the frame, but who cares? What does it say? Do I have to implement ISO 222 for all flows? Like how it says flows, because we talk about data-free flow with trust. For all flows at once? The answer is yes. All right. Or can I continue to, send MTs? You are free to choose which channel format you send as a sender, including a mix. Look what it says here. For instance, you might want to prioritize your corridor for migration to ISO 222. Note that for payment in cash reporting flows, there's a migration period until November 2025. Ronbo has pointed out to me numerous times, and Ronbo, if you're watching, it's fine. I have nothing against you, but you do kind of point out a lot of negative aspects, and that's okay. But Ronbo points out that all of these dates are nothing burgers. I don't think this is a nothing burger because that migration period is the deadline. And November 2025, in my opinion, is the flip of the switch because all flows at once. That's the flip of the switch, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but you know what? It's not about being wrong or right. It's just pointing things out for reference. That's all it is. You know, I'm not going to be the guy who runs a content creator channel or whatever and just comes on screen every day and says that I'm right. I'm always right. No, because you know what? Sometimes I am wrong. I'm a human being. All right, let's see here. Let's read a few more comments. I'll see you at the crossroads. You'll be lonely. See you at the crossroads. Yeah, man. I had to say that song got so played out, but yeah. Shout out to the Bone Thugs. Wishbone. All right. Yes. Pork scum. Damn, holding back water. Scum. Patrick Collier. I may have a tay. I don't know. Oh, geez. I guess that's a classic at this point, right? I was so tired that day, and it just didn't read it right, you know. It may have a what? It was so innocent. I was just like, and then I read it again, and then it was just like a laughing spell. And then I even saw the comments from who was it? Magic Power. He was like, "Oh no, here comes another fit of laughter." I mean, but he meant that in a good way. And then that's exactly what happened, you know. And then April was chiming in. He was like, "Well, yeah, you know, he may very well. I mean, I could confirm this." And it was good times. It was good times. I mean, I can almost guarantee this, right? So you guys have seen it twice. The first one was the mud butt thing, and I wish I can chop that up. It's from, you know, the real Mr. Scam, right? You know who I'm talking about. So I don't want to pull it from there, and then I have to blur stuff out. It's just like, yeah, it's in the past, right? But anyway, that's where the mud butt thing. Eventually, there's going to be another moment at some point. You know, just let it naturally come, right? Yes. All right. But yeah, thank you so much, Patrick Collier. Let me give you a heart on the other screen. Here's a nice heart for you. May have a take. I don't. God, it's so bad. It just, come on, you guys got to admit. Look at how that's positioned. If you were really tired and you're like, you know, part of this WrestleMania, we're obviously in WrestleMania. But if you're part of it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, man. He may have one, you know. It's just like you just don't know. I mean, you know, it's just like you know, Caitlyn Jenner may have a. All right, Max, you got to move on. Yeah, I know. Bruce Jenner may have. Never mind. Bad Max, scam. Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner may have scam. Actually, that is scam, you know. May that be merch also. It's just Caitlyn Jenner on the front, and it just says scam, right? And then let people figure out what that means. I know it sounds bad. All right, that's so bad, so bad. All right, Billy Bob, hello from South Detroit. Detroit. Am I being tricked here? Detroit. Oh, Detroit. Maybe anyway. Billy Bob, welcome. Glad to have you here. All right. You got to keep in mind, when it gets this late in the show, sometimes I get tricked. Some of these guys like to trick me. Patrick Collier, you're awesome, Max. Thank you. Yeah, you're awesome too. Thank you for the super chat and all your support. Obviously, your daily support. I saw what you did for Will Fix. That was awesome too. All right. Corey Bibe says, sounds great, Max. Jasmine, not the scam when it hits above $1. I mean, we'll get Jasmine, not the scam shirts when Jasmine hits below, hits above $1. Yeah, you're right. Yes, Corey, I'm down for Jasmine, not a scam. Okay, that's good stuff. All right, I'm gonna double check crypto Twitter one more time, or X, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see what we got. And we might just be wrapping things up here soon. So I shared this one actually, Crypto Mike, about the whole thing of XRP. Let me show you this real quick. And then I think we need to wrap it up. So I shared this with Will Fix. All right. And I think he put it on his outline because I try to help him out. Guys, make sure you are subscribed to Will Fix. All right. Some of you guys are over on his channel watching as we speak. I do appreciate that. All right, so yeah, we already shared that earlier, but that's good stuff. And oh, this was the other one I wanted to share. I will save this one for the actual QNT outline, the next outline. So we go ahead and do that. Cool. Nice that Rich is resharing your tweets, Crypto Mike. And why have Caroline when you can have that? No, I'm kidding. That's just kind of messed up. Anyway. What is this? Why Jasmy building layer 2? That's my video. This guy, Mike999, I think he follows me. Yeah. States, I was just about to get pissed off. Okay. It's what comes with the territory, right? All right, I'm going to retweet this from Crypto Smith, and I think that might just be about it. Yeah, it is, because, I mean, this was yesterday's question from Sobo. So shout out to Sobo. All right. Well, let's see where I'm at. 2283. I didn't get to do the Twitter space earlier. I was kind of dead at that point, to be honest. All right. But we were looking forward to do it next Friday, hopefully. And that's about it. I'm going to read the last bit of comments. Patrick with the thumbs up. Rather have that than Caroline. Caroline look like Doobie from Harry. That is true. Imagine giving up everything. Your soul, everything. People's money, your reputation, everything. It'd be one thing if it was for like the crypto equivalent in looks as far as like Jessica Alba or something like that from the movie Honey or Sin City, right? Not even close. That. It's like you gave it all up for that. I don't know. I should talk, I probably eat my own words, but I'm not Sam Bankman-Fried. You gave it all up for that. I mean, I just don't get it, man. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Any more subs? I doubt it. Let me double check. Okay, before we wrap it up, I always say that we will check. So, all right. There's a new Will Fix video. That's cool. Dang, look at Will Fix, man. 7,900 views. My God. And people love Will Fix. That's awesome. I'm so happy for Will. But I'm actually happy for us, right? Because, we got a kind of a thing going for both of us. All right, so we are almost at it. Let's just share this. We're at 7 more. Yeah, so it's okay. That's all right. Can't do it on the live show, but we're almost there. I think by tomorrow we'll have it. So that's what's up with that. All right. So let me go ahead and stop the screen. Yes, reduda. All right. I don't know if I'll be here for tomorrow's show. I want to try to put a lot of work in tomorrow. I could possibly be, might not be, but anyway. And then on Sunday, I definitely won't be. Okay. So I just throw that out there. So it's like a 50-50 chance for tomorrow. And then after the show ends, I'm going to go immediately into making chapters because, I kind of need to make that a new habit to do that. So for people who watch the chopped up version, you will see some chapters, which is cool. And then, of course, I will chop up stuff anyway and then put it out. So it is what it is. All right. I think that's it. Yep. Doobie. Cool Cat hungry as Cool Cat Crypto. Hungry as another scam. Triple C. Stay away from that catnip. Tika Tuari saw this. Awesome. My real cat sleeps in the catnip. I grow it out. I grow outside. Wow. We'll see. I got you on X. I don't think you're on X. If you're on X, Cool Cat, why don't you follow us? Some of us, man. We'll give you a follow back. Or maybe you're like, I want the privacy. I will end up doxing myself. True story. Will Fix doxed me last night. Fully doxed me. Mentioned everything, but that's okay. Anyway, he didn't know. It was innocent. You might start. Okay, cool. Well, let us know, man. We'll give you a follow back and stuff. And we'll share some of your sideline reporting on BSV. Hey, how about that, man? Do sideline reporting for we can share more of that BSV. You find something juicy on BSV, for real, man. I will share that because that helps me too, right? Yeah, man. Come on, Cool Cat. Come on, get a Twitter, man. Share with the wheel, Share with the world how passionate you are about BSV. Cool. All right, guys. Sayonara from the Rice Crop Consortium. Smash the like on your way out. Shout out to Magic Power. Let's go. JASMY not a scam. Never ever scam. Corey Bibe, not a scam. Your Chinese food from a buffet. Been sitting all day since 8 o'clock in the morning. And then you go there at 6 o'clock at night. Scam. Fresh Chinese food from Gourmet. Not a scam. Cash. Scam. Spending $200 on a cheap date with promises of the moon. Scam. Showing up here late for 3.5 hours with Max. Rambling on. Scam. Mike Cornwell. Not a scam. Elon Musk. Not a scam. April Cornwell. Hey. Not a scam. Fudders. Scam. Satoshi Nakamoto being Craig Wright might not be a scam. Stop saying scam. Adios. Bye-bye. See ya. Have a great night.